Good evening. Let's see if we get anyone in there. Have we got anyone on yet? Get a bit of breeze. Who we got on? Kay. The missus. Evening, Joe. How are you doing? Who we got on then? Where's everyone from? Nolene, Kate, Joe, me, Emma. Hi, Emma. Hey, Jen. Wow, already we've got plenty in. How's everyone doing? How's everyone's days been? Tell me. Amy, how are you doing? Thanks for joining. Good, thank you. I hope you're well too. Joe, I am well actually. I'm going to talk about that and we get a few more people in and I'll chat about that. In fact, I'll tell you now anyway. I'll tell you what I've been doing for the last few weeks, Joe. Since Christmas, I've done this dry January thing. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a massive boozer. Like most people, socialising. We all like a beer or a glass of wine now and again. But I decided to give this dry January a go and I've not touched a drop. And I'm also on a keto diet. So keto means you're cutting out. Hello, Leanne. Keto means you're cutting out all the processed crap, sugars basically. So things like chips, bread, sugar, processed food, biscuits, chocolates. Basically, I'm eating lots of meat, lots of natural oils and fats. I can't copy your GoFundMe from the TikTok. Amanda just sent me a message on here, and I'll put it in there so you can copy it there. So basically, I'm on a keto diet and I'm not having any alcohol. And I tell you what, the effect on my mental health has been absolutely phenomenal. I mean, really phenomenal. I am, Joe, feeling much better for it. Don't get me wrong, I said to the missus tonight, and I came out the bath, and I said, it's been almost 4 weeks since I've had a drink. I actually, last drink, I think, was about Boxing Day, something like that. And I said, I feel absolutely great, but I can't wait till I go out for a beer. But I said, can you imagine me? I'll go out and have maybe 4 bottles of beer and a glass of gin, and I'll be absolutely shit-faced. She'll probably have to undress me and put me into bed. That'll be the state of me, because drinking is something your body gets used to, but my body now has just been completely flushed. Yeah, Joe, it is. And you know what? For years and years, people have been doing this dry January thing, and I always think to myself, who the fuck wants to stop drinking in January? The only thing you got to look forward to in January is a drink, because everyone's skint from Christmas. The only thing you've got to look forward to is a bottle of wine or a bottle of beer. And the amount of people say you've got to do it to absolutely appreciate the effects it has on your body. And I've got to say, it's absolutely unbelievable. So my plan is I'm going to try and get into the end of, I will get to the end of January. We're almost there now. I'm also going to go into February. I'm going to continue it into February and hopefully continue it till the end of March and have my body completely detoxed for Jam having a wee glass of vino. Whatever you do, please don't show me. I don't want to see it. So I'm hoping to go February and March as well, and then see where we go from there. I did say many years ago I could probably see me quitting drinking alcohol as I get older. Because like I say, you go out for a drink and the hangovers are ridiculous. They are ridiculous. But yeah, the effect on your mental health, if you can knock any alcohol on the head for a while and, change your diet for a little bit, cut out the sugars and the processed food, it's fantastic. I mean, I'm wearing a t-shirt here. I just said to my wife, remember this t-shirt was tight on me? I mean, it's baggy as hell. I'm losing so much weight with the keto. I've just cooked my tea. I've just made myself an omelette with some salami and a bit of cheese, because you can have all that with your keto, and just plenty of salad. And I'm just guzzling as many of these a day as I can. Just water. And water's probably one of the best thing we can all put into our body. But with this being about mental health, I've got to say, and I've got to stress, that the effects on my brain are much clearer. I'm going to bed on an evening now about 10:30, 11 o'clock, and I'm literally putting my phone onto airplane mode, closing my eyes, and I'm just dead to the world till about 7:30 in the morning when my alarm goes off. It's a massive, massive, massive improvement on your mental health. So anybody out there who's struggling, like I do, it's a constant thing. It's not just something that happens for a few weeks and then you're well for a few months. This is, mental health is something that affects us most days, every day, every week, every month of every year. And we can all help it as well, But anybody out there wants to try it, try a keto diet for a month, try not having any alcohol for a month, and you just see the effect it will have on your mental health. Joe, seriously do it. You struggle with your mental health at times and you need to make changes. Joe, honestly, I'm not just saying it. I'm not doing it. No one's telling me to do this. I'm doing this because I think keto is a great way of dieting. You can eat as much as you want of the right food. I mean, I made an omelette tonight. It was huge. It was 4 eggs. It was in the pan. A bit of cheese on there, a bit of salami. I fried it in butter and virgin olive oil. So all natural oils and fats. And then salad, but with my salad, it's lettuce, tomato, cucumber, onions, bits of pepper and things. It's a really nice meal, and you taste everything. You do go through phases when you start keto. The first 4 or 5 days, you're okay, and then you get this horrible taste in your mouth. It's like a keto breath for a couple of days, and you feel really lethargic and really, really knackered. But then you come out the other side, and you've just got all this energy. Basically, what's happening is your body's not taking in any sugar. So to find energy, it's burning the sugar and the fat that's in your body, and it's using that as fuel, and you just start getting this energy from somewhere. Have you tried any fasting? Well, I'm actually doing fasting as well, Danielle. My last meal was last night, and for my tea last night, believe it or not, I had kebab meat. Kebab meat's just meat. I know people say it's not the best meat, but it is just meat, and I had it with salad. And then I've not eaten anything for my breakfast. So I've gone all day with just water, and I have a huge meal in an evening. And I barely finished that meal tonight. I mean, I said to my wife, I said, usually I could eat this with some chips or a bit of bread. Not a chance. I struggled finishing it. So anyone who's interested in keto, there's plenty of info out there online. Just go onto Google, type in keto diet. There's images on there telling you what you can eat and what you can't eat. And basically what you can eat as much of it as you want. I mean, literally, I could have made an omelette tonight with 8 eggs in it if I could physically have it. I could have had a whole iceberg lettuce. I could have had a bag of tomatoes. I could have eaten as much as I wanted to, because, I'm going to then fast tomorrow. So I'll get up in the morning, I'll have a black coffee. The only real cheat I have is a little bit of saccharine sweetness and not sugar. And it is really sweet, but that's my sort of fix of the day. And then it's all day with just water. I'm not feeling hungry through the day, but my mind is just so much clearer. Emma, look into it. Really struggling with your appetite, going through chemo at the moment. Yeah, I understand that. But Emma, what you need to do though, obviously, I mean, keto is a very healthy diet, but what I would do is I would check with your doctor first, just, because with your chemo, you might have to, a sudden change in your diet, and obviously with chemo, sickness and things like that. I would just check with your doctor, but I couldn't imagine it being a massive problem. In fact, I would be surprised if he said, do it, I am going to keep it up, Victoria. Definitely going to keep it up, because, why we're here is about mental health, and anything we can all do to help our own mental health. And like I say, I've done keto before, and it's a great way of sort of losing weight and flushing your body out. But I've never done it and not had alcohol. I've always done it and cheated a bit and had a glass of wine, or at the weekend have a bit of a blowout. So it's only been a 3/4 keto diet, but this time 100%. I've been at it now for about 4 weeks, and the effects are phenomenal. Anyway, that's enough about that, because I'll waffle all night about keto. Do you think keto would be good for your liver function? Yeah, it is, because I'm drinking plenty of water as well. You will feel after about 5 or 6 days lethargic, and you will start finding when you're going for a pee, the colour of it, is really brown, because that's just your body getting rid of all the crap inside your body, and eventually, you'll get this energy. But again, anyone who's concerned about things like that, this isn't like a fad diet like the Atkins diet, where people were just stuffing their faces with meat and nothing else. That was pretty dangerous. I'm having plenty of vegetables, plenty of salad, plenty of water. I mean, water's the key. Do you think keto would be? Yeah, I think I'll give it a shot. You've got to do it. If you're going to do it, I mean, a lot of people just go and do a keto for 3 to 4 weeks and then they come off it. But what you've got to remember when you come off it, if you just go straight back to bread and chips and sweets and sugar and stuff, which we all like, then you're just going to pile it back on. It's made your life hard and you're so unsociable. I can't imagine you being unsociable, Joe. I'm looking at your badge there. That's a Newcastle brown ale. That's an old Newcastle shirt. Now, I remember that. That was the Davidge in all the days, wasn't it, that? Sort of mid-90s, when you were a phenomenal team. Kevin Keegan was there. And if you're a Geordie, I can't imagine you being unsociable, mate. Are you a Geordie? Just confirm that. I might have got that wrong, just judging the good old tune. Whereabouts in Newcastle are you from, Joe? Joe, can I just ask, are you a man or a woman? Because I am a Geordie, yeah. Because what I am going to ask, I know we get a lot of women here, but I need to get men on here. I need to get as many men as possible. So any of you women on here, you're a woman. Any of you women on here who've got husbands who are struggling, I need you to get them on here. Even if they don't want to speak, just get them to sit beside you and watch and let them listen. Because if they can see a guy like me, my size, being open and honest and talking about mental health, you know, I have a very funny feeling that, you know, it could help some people. Amy, are you still on here? And see if Amy's still on here. I spoke to Amy today. She doesn't mind me telling a little story from the other day. Has to be a lifestyle change, I'm thinking, just to find the balance. Thanks for sharing. Keto fasting and dry in Spain. You deserve a medal. Amy, yeah, Amy's here. Amy, you did say today you didn't mind me chatting about it. So a couple of nights ago, Amy had put a post on her TikTok. And I have asked Amy's permission to disclose this story. So she put a post on a TikTok. It's possibly still there. And she was in a really bad place. And she didn't feel like she could go on, and she wanted to end it. And somebody tagged me in there. Gunnar, who was on the other night, she tagged me in there. And so I messaged Amy. And we spoke for about 3 or 4 hours, didn't we, on TikTok Messenger. And she was in a really bad place. And we managed to get her head a bit straighter. And after about 4 or 5 hours, she came down from where she was feeling, and here she is. She's now on here 2 days later in a much better place. Can I just confirm, Amy, you are still in a much better place? You're on here. You did say you were going to come on here. But yeah, Amy, we chatted through TikTok, and it was just basic chat. I didn't say anything specific. All I was just saying was like, you know, we chatted about Amy's reasons why. And I think it was just a case of, like I say on here, it's somebody saying, I need some help. And that was her way of saying she needed some help. You know, she didn't know how to come out and say, I need some help, I need someone to talk to. Her way was just thinking, well, you know, that's the end for me. And she really, really was in a bad place. But fortunately and thankfully, we've managed to chat to Amy, and here we go. She's doing okay, and that is absolutely great news. Absolutely great news. You know, so this is why I'm here. This is why we're all here. You know, it doesn't have to be me. You know, you've all got Amy on there now, and I suggest all of you, if you can, go on there and follow Amy. You know, and when Amy does, if and when Amy does, you know, feel that way again, you know, that was Amy's way of crying out. You know, she put on a post. She was feeling like life was too much for her, and we've all been there. And she's had the strength to just do a few hours of conversation with me. To, you know, to come out the other side, and here we are a couple of days later. So it's absolutely phenomenal that Amy's still with us, and she's still fighting, and that's absolutely fantastic. And this is what I said, you know, we're going to build a kind of a community on here where we're there for each other, you know, so it doesn't just have to be me. If you guys can go on there and follow Amy, that'd be fantastic. We've all been, you know, we're all a little bit like Amy at times. We're all like Amy at times. We all feel alone in the world. Even if you've got wife and kids and you've got jobs and things, I feel alone sometimes. When you're in that hole, you just feel alone because you don't want to keep banging that drum and telling people that you're struggling. So you try and do it on your own, and it gets a bit claustrophobic, and you feel like you've got no friends. So the more people that can follow Amy on here and let her know that you're there for her, you know, and be her friend, then, you know, let's hope we can help people like Amy over and over again. So it's so good that here we are 2 days later, and she's in a much better place. She's doing well, you know. So, and I have heard her story. I'm not going to disclose Amy's story of her life. She told me a few things that have happened to her life. What's led her into this situation, and you know, and I take my hat off her for doing that, for being honest. But again, this is what I say to people: if you're ever going to reach out for help, if you're going to reach out, you've got to reach out, and you've got to be honest. And Amy was completely honest. She said why she was feeling this way, why she felt like she couldn't go on. And she was honest. So because she told me that, we had something to work with. And like I say, we spoke. So absolutely fantastic that you're on here tonight, Amy. And well done. You wish your cousin spoke out. Mental health needs more awareness. I'm so glad people can speak to you. Tracy, like I say, I'm no mental health expert. I just go from my own experiences of how I suffer and how I feel. And I wouldn't say I was a success story because, you know, I'm still fucked up from time to time. I really am. I have them days where, you know, I feel like Amy. But all I can say is I'm always here to speak to someone. My wife is, and I'm sure you are. You know, people on here who you follow. If you see one of them struggling, I'm sure you'd reach out and send them a message and just say, "Do you need to talk?" Amy could have turned around and said to me, "F off." You know, keep your nose out. I mean, I think at one point she thought I was a bit of a weirdo, and that's understandable because when I'd said to her, I said, you know, what is your name? Where are you from? I said, come on, let's just chat. And I said, how old are you, Amy? I just want to get a gist of how old she was, who I was talking to. And she was like, why do you want to know my age? I went, I'm not being some kind of weirdo. So you've got to get across that sort of threshold. And once she trusted in me, it was actually quite admirable the way she... yeah, it's my African grey in the background, Genesis Gen. Yes, he's actually been covered over, but he's still a gobshite. It was actually admirable the way that she still opened up to me. So, like I say, here we are. Amy's with us, and it's absolutely fantastic. Good evening, Curly. How are you doing? Listen, guys, I know some of you people on here have got partners, husbands, and I know for a fact some of you are on here to try and maybe get information to help them. I know some of you on here have got husbands who are struggling. We need to get them on. You know, at the moment, you know, I'm not saying I'm not here for women as well, but from my own experience, is being a man and asking for help is one of the hardest things. And as we know, there's more men in the world. I've got to be careful what words I use now. I've got a bit of warning. More men in the world unaliving themselves because they don't speak, because they don't know how to approach the subject of asking somebody and saying them 4 words, I need some help. So I know for a fact some of you guys in here have got husbands. Just get them to sit next to you when I'm online. Let them listen. Just let them listen. My son is 20 and would need your help. I'm going to get him to add me. Listen, if he's in the house now, ask him to come and just sit next to you and let him just listen to me speak. Let him just see a guy like me. You know, I'm an older guy now, but you know, I'm an imposing guy. I'm a big guy, and if a masculine guy like me can sit here and be honest and speak to, let's face it, complete strangers in the world, and I'm leaving myself open here. I'm wide open. I'm live now on the internet. Anybody can sit and watch me. Anybody can feel sorry for me, mock me, laugh at me, criticize me, whatever they want. But I'm actually out here putting myself out, and I think if your son could see a guy doing that, then I think it could, just by seeing that, it could be a help. It really could be. It really could. Right, guys, I'm just going to go into something first before we carry on. Now, you've probably all seen on my profile, I have a passion, and it's all to do with homeless people. My plan this year is to go to the UK, and I will do it. I'm going to go to the UK, spend time in different cities, probably Newcastle, Liverpool, places like that, and I'm going to spend time with the homeless living on the street. I'm going to travel from city to city. I want to use public transport, and I'm going to film and document the whole journey. So I'm going to be documenting the people who are living on the street and their mental health and the crisis that they face, the hardship they face, and the turmoil and the tragedy that they face and they're seeing every day. But I'm also going to be documenting the way they're treated by the general public, by the authorities, how they're just basically cast aside. We want to document all of that. But to do that, it's going to cost money, and I want to go there and I want to change some lives. So I'm trying to raise money. So on one of my posts, I have a GoFundMe. So if you go on the post, there's actually a GoFundMe. I put it on there yesterday. It's just a picture of a homeless guy, and just on the screen is a GoFundMe. Now, you can't click on it, but if you guys can go on there and copy and paste, and anybody who wants to just donate and we try and raise the money, the quicker we can do it, the quicker I can get to the UK. This is a passion of mine. This is something my wife will tell you for years and years and years. I get so angry when I put on the news and I see homeless people. I get so angry when I put on the news and you see homeless people just being sidestepped in the street and just treated like trash. And these are human beings. These are human beings like you and I. These are human beings that have feelings. And these are human beings who just need help to get out of the hole that they're in and be given a chance. And I want to be able to go and try and give some of them a chance while I'm documenting their story. So this is something that really means the world to me, and I will keep going on about this every time I'm live. I will keep repeating it, but there is a GoFundMe there. I have already had one donation. I only set it up yesterday. I need to try and raise possibly €10,000, but at the moment the target is about 2,500. We need to get good video equipment. We're going to need some level of protection while we're there, and I am going to be doing this with somebody else. You know, I've had people offer to come with me. I've had a friend here offer to come with me. So, I am going to be living authentically on the streets. You know, I'm not going to have a bag full of clothes. I'm not going to have a nice hotel room where I can go to and get a shower every evening and get my head down and have a bit of food. I'm going to live with these people authentically, no matter how tough it is. And someone messaged me yesterday and said, do you not worry about your own mental health doing that? No, I don't. No, I don't, because when I feel like I'm doing something good for somebody, my mental health's in a good place. You know, since I've started doing this on here, it's like a kind of therapy, and it's really, really good. So that's my plan. I want to go to the UK. You know, I've had many people say, come to Liverpool, go to Newcastle, go here and there. I don't know where I'm literally going to go, but I would like to go to the bigger cities, yeah. But I would also like to go to some of the smaller towns as well and just, you know, get my head down and meet these people and travel with them through the day and go to the soup kitchens and sit on corners and beg for money and try and raise money for a cup of coffee and a bite to eat and to document the public's reaction to people sitting on the street who are homeless. You know, and I think that's a big thing. I mean, people think about the homeless, but not enough people do think about them. You know, we're all too wrapped in our own lives, and that's fine. You know, there's those that saying look after number one, but I just want to be able to document it and show. That light keeps bouncing off my glasses. I'm sorry, guys, but I do just want to show the reaction from the public to people who are homeless, because I know going back years ago, leaving pubs and things, seeing people that's spitting at them and laughing at them and ridiculing them. And I'm sorry, but that is fucking bang out of order. You know, that could happen to any one of us. You know, any one of us could have something happen in our life that just sends us on this spiral, and off you go. You know, off you go, and before you know it, you're living, you know, homeless. And, you know, people say things like, well, if they've got family, why don't they go home? Sometimes it's the family, there's a reason why they're living on the street, because of, you know, abuse, whether it be physical, sexual, mental abuse, families who've treated them badly. And sometimes for some of these people, it's a way out, and people don't plan to get up on a morning and just say, I'm going to go and live homeless. You know, it's a lot of time it's about circumstance. And yes, don't get me wrong, there is some people who live homeless and they're happy to do it. You know, they go to soup kitchens, they get fed regularly. They have certain people who can give them a bath and a shower and things like that, but they're happy living homeless. But majority of people, I can tell you now, no, they're not doing it out of choice. Victoria Sterling, at Victoria Sterling. Sorry, I got that wrong. Nolene, you were replying to Victoria Sterling. Heartbreaking to see them, and you always buy them food. Yeah, and we're the same. We've got a guy here not too far from us. I've not actually been to see him for a while. And he's ex-forces. I think he's Norwegian or Danish. I always get it muddled up. Whenever I see him, I say Norwegian, he says Danish, or I say Danish and he says, no, I'm Norwegian, whatever. But we pass him in the car sometimes, we honk the horn, but whenever I get a chance, I go to Specsavers. I have a little 5-minute walk while my wife's getting her nails done or something. And I go see this guy and I give him some money and I chat to him for 5 minutes. And I've actually sat against the wall with him before and just watched people walk past, and I just thought, that's disgusting. It's disgusting when you see the way people just look at people on the street like they're shit on the bottom of your shoe, and they're not. These are human beings. And you know what? When I speak to this guy, I actually like him. He's a really nice guy, and I think to myself, under different circumstances, we would be mates. We would be mates. We've got, you know, he's ex-forces, I'm ex-forces. We'd have a lot to speak about. So he's a nice guy, and the misconception is that these people living on streets, they're all druggies, they're all alcoholics, they're all criminals, and no, they're not. Some of these people, you know, have had wonderful jobs. You know, they've had a good lifestyle, but because of circumstances and quite often mental health issues, they end up on the streets. So it's a passion of mine. I want to go help them. I want to go live with them. I want to raise as much money as I can through TikTok, through my YouTube channel, which is also at the top of my TikTok profile. You can click straight on the YouTube and go onto there. All these videos go onto my YouTube. You can go on there. But I will every day I'll be putting just a picture on my page, and I'll just put the GoFundMe link on there. You just got to copy and paste it, and you know, and you can do it that way. And go on to GoFundMe. There is a QR code on there, and I keep meaning to get that and just put that on one of my pages so you can just scan straight onto it. So I will do that. The son I said about feeds homeless no matter where we go, even Tenerife buys them food. That is absolutely fantastic. Do you know what? I think everyone should do that, shouldn't they? Everybody should do that. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I live in Spain. Tenerife's part of Spain, very similar lifestyle, and food is not expensive here. I mean, it really isn't. You can go and get a couple of bread rolls here for like 20 cents. You can get a packet of cheap meat or something for like €1.20, and you can go and buy somebody a coffee for €1.50. So you're looking at about less than about €4. You can buy someone a meal and a hot drink. You know, what is €4 to somebody who works? What is €4 to somebody who has a mortgage or runs a car or has a takeaway twice a week or goes out for a beer, you know, or buys himself a nice dress every week? I mean, what is €4 at the end of the day? It's nothing, you know. So there's plenty we can all do when it comes to the homeless, and I want to really do my bit, and I want to do it. I want to live so authentically with them. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to live on the street, you know, and that's what I'm going to try and show to people. Is at the end of the 2, maybe even 3 weeks, it depends, because I want to spend 2 or 3 days in each city, then maybe half a day traveling to the next city, using public transport, you know, trains and buses, and just watching the reaction of people sitting next to me on a train while I'm smelling, you know, while I'm looking grimy, you know, my beard will be matted, my hair will have grown, you know, my glasses will be, well, I'll probably wear contacts anyway if I can, but you know, I'll be dishevelled, my clothes will be dirty. And I'll smell, and I want to see that reaction from people. So, you know, I want to genuinely do it authentically, and at the end of it, I want to be able to, you know, document giving these people some money, and hopefully while I'm there, get in touch with local councils and even home some people, you know, get some people into sheltered accommodation and try and change a couple of lives. And you know what, if that was to happen, I could do that. You know, one day when I do leave this mortal earth, I'll leave a happy man, because I think we all have the ability to be able to change somebody's life, except not a lot of us really do it because we're busy with our own lives. But this is just something I really want to do. And my wife will tell you, you know, I am constantly going on about the homeless. I mean, one of my favourite lines used to be about the Queen. Look at her living in that big palace. She's got about 500 bedrooms. I bet there's 500 homeless within a mile of Buckingham Palace. Why can't you put them all in a room? Now, we know theoretically you can't just go stick homeless people in the palace where the Queen's living because of security reasons. But you get what I'm saying. So let's go through some of these comments. Amazing what you're doing, plus what you have done with people from Belfast. Thank you very much. My brother was on the streets of Belfast only into a permanent bed. Has lost so many friends too. And that's the thing, isn't it? You know, there's a lot of people in this world, they have an image to keep up to, and they don't want to be seen friends with somebody who's on the street, you know, homeless, dirty, hungry, and, you know, which is wrong. You know, if he was their friend, you know, he hasn't changed as a person. You know, he's still the same person. He's just in a worse predicament. Yeah, Jay, it's buttons. Even bought the homeless guys dog food. I've done that, yeah. I've done that, and like I say, my wife recently has just started a business, a pet store. So that's something we'll start doing a lot more as well. You know, and I think people in business, if any of you people on here have got a business, you know, it wouldn't be a bad thing if just once every few months, you know, I mean, just to do that, get a bag of dog food and get some tins of food, and you know, I wouldn't think twice about buying a homeless man if he drunk whiskey. I'd buy him a bottle of whiskey. You know, people would think, why would you do that? Because that bottle of whiskey helps that guy get through the day. You know, you're not going to solve his alcoholism while he's still on the street. So I'm not causing him any ill effect. He's going to get that whiskey one way or another. I'd rather be able to give him that whiskey, and what little he does manage to get for the day he can put into food. You know, people aren't going to, living on the street, aren't going to fight their addictions such as alcoholism, drug abuse and things while they're on the street. That ain't going to happen. The only way that's going to happen is when they eventually get off the street and do accommodation, feel some worth about themselves, you know, and then take the next step of getting some help with their addiction. So, you know, I wouldn't think twice about buying somebody a bottle of whiskey or a packet of cigarettes or a packet of tobacco. Not at all. Not at all. Evening, Carla. There's still someone relative no matter what and who they are. You're absolutely bang on right. And you know, and it is quite sad, the fact that there's relatives out there living in their nice houses who have a relative living on the street. And like I say, some people, you know, the reason why that break in the relationship is down because of, you know, problems within the family. But yeah, you know, people are living in the nice houses and one of their relatives is living out on the street. And I think sometimes in life, you've just got to try and let people do what they want to do. But also, if if the breakdown in communication with the family wasn't a massive serious one, and it is just a genuine falling out, because sometimes that's all it takes. It needs somebody to reach out. It needs somebody to reach out. And one thing I will tell you about homeless people is they still have their pride. When people walk past them and diss them, spit on them and ridicule them, and these people still have pride. In there's a human being that still has pride and still knows what pride is, and a lot of them people still have a heart of gold. So I'm the same. I can't just walk them past and do nothing. Victoria, I think everybody feels the same. I think genuinely most people, when they walk past somebody who's homeless, looks at them and thinks to themselves, and not everybody's in a position to help. So, but if people are, then most people do help. Even if it's £1 or £1.50, it drives me around when you see someone throw like 7 pence in, and you think, what was the point? Give the guy a pound. If 50 people walk past somebody homeless in a day and everybody give him 50 pence, that's 25 quid. That's enough for the guy to get a good couple of meals and a packet of cigarettes. And if he wants to go and spend the change on a bottle of whiskey or a bottle of cider, then fair play to him. And hopefully he's got a few pound left to get himself into a bed or one of these places like YMCA places for the night. Tanya Collins set me heart. I don't know how to approach anyone with that without making them worry too much. What is that? Sorry, Explorer. I don't know how to approach anyone with that without making them worry too much. Huge topic that comes with so many life stories behind homeless. Yeah, and there is, Emma. There's there's so many different. It could be just a straightforward, genuine family argument that's just. Pride's got in the way, and they won't say sorry, they won't make up, and that person leaves the home and thinks they're going to make it on their own, and they don't. And because of pride, or because after a while too much time passes, and then, it happens. You hear these stories of young kids, 14, 15, 16-year-old running away from home and going down to London, and, 5, 6, 7 years later, they're still on the streets, and they've missed a massive portion of their life. They've missed that portion of their life where they're going out with friends to cinemas, going out to bars and restaurants, to going to concerts and things. The closest they get to a concert is sitting outside in the cold and hoping some of them people coming in and going out will throw them a bit of change. And that is tragic. And it is a huge topic, and it comes up every day for me. I bet there's some people that come into my business and I bet they're sick of hearing me go on about it, but I'll not stop going on about it. Until somebody says to me, zip your mouth, I'm sick of hearing it, but they won't. Because of abuse and religion, I was homeless weeks after my 17th birthday. And Diane, if you don't mind me asking, how long were you homeless for? Sometimes family have kids, and unfortunately social services step in and won't let them there. I think I know what you mean by that. And they do. Social services have got a lot to answer for, haven't they? Even children who are genuinely taken away from parents because they need to be for the safety. But then the situation these kids are put into care and things, we all hear about what happens, and they eventually run away, and they've got no family to run to because they can't, because they're probably, they were abused there. They can't run back to the social services for fear of being put into another situation where they're being abused or badly treated. So the only choice for them is to run and end up on the street. I'm just going to read some more of these comments, guys. Jace Buttons, yeah, I've read that one. Yeah, no bother. Was on the streets of Belfast, only into a permanent bed. Lost so many friends. Yeah, we've read that one. Sorry. I sent to charities all the time, feeding people in my city. Kelly Autism Mum. Kelly, that's brilliant. And you know what? Keep that up. Keep that up. I always say help, but always say to people, pay it forward when you see anyone in need and I help them. And that's true. That if you pay it forward, one day you'll receive it back. And that is a saying that a lot of people talk about. And you know what? We don't give to receive. And again, what I say is, if you're in a position where you have a nice home, you have a car, you have a job, and listen, we all have takeaways. We all go out for meals. We all buy a pair of shoes when, let's face it, we've got 20 in a cupboard upstairs. We don't really need that extra pair of, that extra shirt or them extra pair of gloves or something. We just buy them because we can. Sometimes, instead of wasting a couple of quid on something that you don't really need, think long and hard and just think to yourself, what could I do with this £2? And if everybody did that and just gave a little bit, And I know we're never, ever, ever going to solve the homeless crisis in the UK. Not somebody like me going and spending a few weeks living with them. But if I can just help a few people and document it and get my documentary out there and let people see it, that just an average guy like me from just an average walk of life is willing to sacrifice a few weeks of his time and go live on the streets authentically and go hungry and go tired and go smelly and unwashed for a while, then if someone like me can do it, and if it needs for somebody like me to go and do that, to highlight it, and if it can make a massive impact, you know, I'd love to think I did that, and a TV channel picked up on it and started showing it on a local TV channel or something, and then the Nationals got on top of it, you know. And I'm not saying that because it's about me. I would be absolutely made up because it would highlight what I've done, and it would also then highlight that if this guy, this average guy, is willing to go live on the streets, then, you know, it shows how bad that the homeless situation is, doesn't it, when it's doing that, because it drives me mad. It does. You know, sometimes I lay awake at night and I pick up my phone and I'll go on the news, and there's always something about homeless. Then it keeps me awake, and I think about it and I think about it, and it drives me mad. So, and again, homeless and mental health, the two, you know, they're so connected, it is unbelievable. So connected, it's unbelievable. So, yeah, that's what I want to do. I really, really want to do it. It's a massive passion of mine. It's something I've wanted to do for a long, long time. With the power of TikTok, social media, and my YouTube channel, you know, then that's what I'm going to do. You know, I'm going to try myself out here in Spain, do my stand-up, and with people that I know, I'm going to try arrange, charity nights where I can do stand-up, we can get some other people do stand-up and raise as much money as we can. So when I get to a certain amount of money, and enough to get some better equipment, enough to obviously hire some protection when I'm there, because on a night when I'm sleeping, you know, I'll leave myself vulnerable. And if local news or radio, which we are going to try and contact prior to it, have got wind of it and publicise it, and there's always one idiot out there who wants to come and try and make a name for themselves. So it is going to cost for a bit of protection for a few weeks. That guy would just work on a night. They can go to a hotel and sleep through the day. During the day, you know, we'll be making a lot of videos. You know, we've got some protection on a night, and it's something that I want to do, and I will do it. So, you know, everybody get onto my TikTok. There's a picture on there, and there is a print of my GoFundMe. So anyone who wants to give as little or as much as you want, let's just try and get to an amount of money where I can go, and the quicker I do it, the better. And you know what? If I do it once and it's successful, I'll do it again, and I'll do it again, and I'll make it something that I do once a year or twice a year. You know, like I say, I have a business here, so you know, I have a family who can cover the business. My business will run. So I'm fortunate in the fact that I don't have to ask a boss for time off. So, you know, I want to raise this money and I want to go do it, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it with the help of you guys on here, and we're going to document it, you know, their lives, and obviously we'll talk to these people about their mental health issues and what led them to be on the street and everything. I think it's going to be something that's going to be really fulfilling for myself. It's going to be something that's going to be quite sad to watch at times, but at the end of it, if I can change a few lives and get a few people into homes and change a few lives, and I think it's going to be very, very rewarding for myself and them, and obviously the people who watch the documentary. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So everybody, please help as much as you can. 18 months you were homeless. Wow. Do you know what? I take my hat off to you. I take my hat off. And which part of the world was that, Diane? If you don't mind me asking. I'm just having a look through some of these messages, guys. Social services, ruin lives. Yeah, Carla, you know, I'm not going to be one of them people who sits here and says anything negative about organisations. I don't think I need to. You know, people say it for you. We've all seen the evidence out there. We all hear the stories. And again, it goes back to why some young people are actually homeless, because they've ended up in the care system, and because of one thing or another, while they're in that system where they're supposed to be being looked after and they're not, and they're being abused, they end up, you know, leaving, and their only alternative is to live on the streets. Yeah, Amy, I remember you telling me that yesterday. You were homeless from July 23 until you got housed permanently. So that was the best part of 14 months, and the abuse is disgusting. Are you talking there, Amy, about the abuse from people walking past and stuff? Is that what you mean by that? Because that is a massive thing, isn't it? I mean, you know, if you're living on the street and you've come from a decent background and you find yourself in a situation, you know, you've still got pride. You know, deep down inside, you might be sitting there hungry and cold and dishevelled and so miserable. You've still got pride, and when somebody walks past and ridicules you, that still hurts, you know. Belfast and Dublin is heartbreaking. Well, somebody mentioned it the other day to me, Carlos. So I actually went onto YouTube and just had a look at the homeless situation in Ireland, and Edinburgh is a really, really, really bad place for it as well. Obviously, we all know about London, but the big cities, your Liverpools, your Manchester, Newcastle as well is a bad place. But everybody seems to just focus on the big cities, but you've got to think of some of these smaller places. I mean, you know, I was looking at Rugby in Rugby sort of Midlands, isn't it? Rugby's near Derby. And there was a small thing on YouTube about that, and it was horrific. And I know Rugby from when I was driving trucks. I used to park there and just go for a kebab and a couple of beers and whatnot. And I know the area; it's a small little place, but the amount of homeless there now is just, you know, it's shocking. Lisa Jane, evening Jane Kate. This year will be my last. And let me just see what I just said there. Can I just, sorry, someone, have I just read that right there? Somebody's just saying that this year's going to be your last. Can I, Cloned X-Explorer, what, can you please just tell us why you're saying that? And listen, there's plenty of us on here. Yeah, Lisa Jane there, what do you mean? Northern Ireland about half an hour from Belfast. Okay, yeah, so you're Northern Ireland. You need to contact your GP. They've failed so many kids. You back talking about the social services there, Carly. Yeah, they have. Yeah, I mean, we only have, I mean, I could sit now and put my TV on, click on YouTube and just type in, you know, something like social services abuse, you know, them 3 words. And you're probably being inundated by the amount of documentaries or reports or something that will be on there, and it is tragic, isn't it? I mean, you'd like to think that, you know, if anything ever happened to you and your wife and one of your kids had to go into care, that they would be well looked after and cared for, but sadly that isn't always the case. Lisa Jane, thank you. Hard week, but getting there. Yeah, guys, yeah, we all know, I mentioned the other night about my wife losing her father. So it has been a tough week for her, but she's getting there. She's getting there. She's as strong egg as my missus. Amy, yes. Yeah, I can't remember what question I asked you, Amy. Anyways, yeah, about 14 months. How did that come about, Amy? Do you just mind telling me? How did that come about? So you were on the streets living for about 14 months. How did it come about where you got off the streets and you got into accommodation? Did you do that yourself, or did somebody, you know, reach out and help you? Was it a family member? Was it a friend, or what was that? Southend. Now, yeah, there's another one. Yeah, Southend's not a massive place, but yeah, it is. Down the seafront, I seen something the other day, and there's a lot of people sleeping, and, you know, going on about the homeless as well, I've seen something recently, and you can all do this if you go onto Google, and if you look at some of the means that these companies and businesses are actually employing and spending money on to prevent people sleeping in their doorways. They're putting, when the doors close at night, spikes are coming out the ground. They're designing benches in parks where they have metal bars across them, so you can only sit one person at a time with so people can't sleep on them. I mean, it's bad enough that people are living on the street, but it's even worse that the local councils now are actually designing chairs and even walls. They're putting spikes and balls and like prongs on these walls to stop people sitting and laying. It's disgusting. You know, these people are struggling as it is, and they're even taking away the doorways and the benches. You know, it really boils my piss when you see things like that. But if you go into Google, any of you, and just search it, you know, it's horrendous. You know, there's spikes coming out the floor in these doorways and things. You know, they're pulling a lever, spikes coming out the floor. They're locking it off so people can't sleep in the doorway. And I just think that's, you know, I mean, it's disgusting. There's a small town in Swindon also, I can't remember the name of it. I know just outside Swindon, a place called Cirencester. Been there a lot back in the day. Swindon's not a massive place. I've been out in Swindon. I actually went in a bar there years ago. You probably remember, it's called The Bedroom. And funny enough, I saw Jade Goody in there. I was actually working. I was there for a night on a Friday and went in for a couple of beers, me and my mate. And next thing, the whole place was rammed, and it was Jay Goody coming in, God rest his soul. So you probably remember that, Carla, if you've heard of Swindon or you've been to Swindon. The place was called The Bedroom. That was the name of the bar. Stirling, Germany, if that's what you mean. Victoria Sturgeon. It is, yeah. Send me a message, please. Yeah, Clondex Explorer. Please send a message to my wife, Kay. Just speak to her, please. Okay. Let me just go through some of these messages, guys. I do like to... You ended up being sectioned, Amy. Okay, but Amy, do you know what though, right? As much of a tough time that was, that you went through, it's all part of your journey, isn't it? You know, you spent that time on the streets and it affected you mentally badly, and I get that, because we did speak last night, and you got sectioned, and I know you told me that you were in your section for quite a while, but look at you now. You know, you are a success story, Amy. I know you still have your struggles, but you are a success story. You are one of them people who we all want to see from week in, week out, coming on here and thriving, and you know, with chatting on here and with adding people on here to follow and chatting to them in your messages and things. You said to me last night, and I remember you saying that you don't have family, but you certainly don't have any friends. Well, do you know what? We're all your friend. So if you can add all of these people on here and follow them and get them to follow you back, you've got a bunch of friends. And I've already seen people have sent you well wishes on here back when we first started. So, you know, you are among friends. You definitely are among friends, and that's lovely. Leighton Buzzard shops have done that with the spikes. There you go. So, Jojo, you know what I'm talking about. It's absolutely disgusting, isn't it? I mean, that is despicable, that. You know, my shop is, the door's flush. I mean, it's a flush door to the street, basically. But if I had a doorway and I knew someone homeless slept in it, I mean, I can guarantee that I certainly wouldn't be doing that. I'd probably put a pillow and a blanket out every night. I'd give them a pillow and a blanket, and I'd let them sleep in my doorway. You know, hell, if I had the space and I had a little spare office or something, I'd let them sleep in my office. But you know, unfortunately, I don't. But yeah, it's disgusting. Our government in Northern Ireland only worry for the ones coming from conflict. I don't mean that. I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean, Carl, and we all see it on the news, don't we? Hotels are full of people coming from a so-called conflict, but then we only have to turn around and look at the other side of the road, and our own people like myself, you know, ex-servicemen, and you know, British citizens who've lived here and for all their life, and they've paid taxes at some point, and they've just fallen on bad times, are just basically just left. You know, it's basically, you know, this government basically just sticks two fingers up to these people, and at the same time they're filling hotels with other people, and we know these people are getting fed. We know they're being given money. We know they're being given free treatment on the NHS, and we know that they're given mobile phones, and none of them are documented. You know, and it is tragic. So what you're saying there, totally getting. I think everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about. It drives us all mad, and we see it on the news every day. But eventually, I think it's got to change. It's got to change. But wouldn't it be? Could you imagine if all these hotels could suddenly be emptied of these people, and then we put the homeless in them? You know, I mean, was it something like 740,000 people came onto the British shores last year, and over half of them were immediately put in hotels and fed and given money. I mean, Jesus, let's say 300,000. Imagine if you were to 300,000 homeless people and put them in a hotel and give them 3 meals a day, so they can get a bath every day, so they can start feeling some self-respect again and start building their pride and start feeling human again. Wow. You know, so yeah, I'm getting angry now thinking about it, and as you know, it's a passion. It's a piss take. But these people have serious mental health issues, and you know, they can't just go to an NHS centre and get help. You know, most of the time is you need to have an address. So, you know, it is a vicious circle. But you're absolutely right there, yeah. The government in Northern Ireland only worry about the ones coming from a conflict. And you know what, isn't it funny how all them people coming from a conflict are all male? You know, so what I often ask is, where are the women and the children? Are they still in this conflict then? Have these guys left their family behind, you know, to go live in a hotel and leave their loved ones in a conflict? That's all I can surmise from the whole situation. But I don't want to go too much in it. I don't want to be getting into trouble off TikTok, but you know, there's enough of it out there. We all know it. A guy near me who was sleeping outside a local shop for weeks, and it turns out he already had a flat. Wow. And again, that's what I say. Some people actually do choose to be homeless. It's very few and far between, but some people do. You know, some people genuinely do. My uncle was homeless there for a while. In Cirencester, you talked about Carla, or Swindon. You love Jade. Yeah, I think we all love Jade, didn't we? Yeah, I do remember that. Are you on about the bedroom? You talked about the bar called the bedroom. Let me just have a look on here. Let me just go through some of these comments, because I do like to... There you go, Amy, look at that. Kat McGew. Kat, well done. Cheers, Kat. You guys need to follow each other. Amy, I did say to you last night, didn't I? You get on the live tonight and we're going to get you some people connected with you. You know, so, you know, if you're ever in a situation, then, you know, you can always message someone. It's just a message in an inbox, isn't it, if you're struggling, you know, and you can do that message and copy and paste it and send it to half a dozen people. That way somebody's going to answer you. You know, because one of the worst things is if you reach out and send someone a message that may be busy or they haven't got the phone in their hand. But if you send it to a few people, somebody's going to see it, and that's lovely. Kat, well done, Amy. She spoke. Message me anytime you fancy a chat. That's great news, Amy. Absolutely brilliant. I've said it before. Churches should open the doors. Christine, you're absolutely spot on. Yeah, they should. They should. I mean, you know, they're all for helping people. The churches, aren't they? You know. But what is it with churches? You know, they're always raising money for a roof. They're always raising money for a new pew, or, you know, new Bibles, or they're raising money for a minibus for the Sunday school crew or something. But they never raise any money for people who, you know, really, 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 really need it. And I totally agree with that. Why can't the churches open the doors? They can do, can't they? They can do, without a doubt. That's what gets on my nerves big time. Amy Louise, big love. Yeah, Kat, thank you for that. You'll chat to Amy and you'll see she's a lovely girl, and she just needs some help, and she just needs friends and people to talk to. And I'm just glad that I was there for a couple of nights ago, and I'm just absolutely made up that she's on here now. You know that it's a lovely feeling knowing that we chatted the other night, and I'll be honest with you, it is quite. It's emotional for myself, you know, listening to somebody like that and somebody suffering. But then the next morning, I got to work and I remembered, and I messaged, and I just sent another message, and I just put, "Are you still okay today, Amy?" And she sent a message back, and she went, "Yeah, I'm doing much better." And do you know what? That was absolutely great to hear. The south of Ireland literally scrapped the homeless tents and everything. I know, I read that recently. It's disgusting, isn't it? It's disgusting. They can scrap the tents and we go back, but they're not scrapping the hotels. You know, this is really boiling my piss, because all you people are seeing, and you all know what's going on, but nothing's being done about it. Nothing whatsoever. Love to wipe the floor of them all in that big house in the hill. Yeah. You know, Guy Fawkes had a good idea, didn't he, many years ago? You know, where's he at this moment? Homeless English woman in Benidorm, and it's cold at night. Is that you, Gwen, you're saying? You're homeless in Benidorm? Can you just confirm what you mean by that? Because you're not far from us, then, are you? You're about 45 minutes from where we are. Amy's just put on here, she's proud of herself because 4 months ago she couldn't be trusted with more than a day's worth. Amy, so just hearing you say that you're proud of yourself, what a statement for you to make. That's an unbelievable statement to make, that you've actually got pride, you know, and you're feeling proud of yourself from where you said you were. You know, you've been homeless, you know, you've been sectioned, and sometimes you feel like, you know, you want to end it because you've got no friends. And look at this, we've been on here 50 minutes now, and you're chatting to people and you're telling people that you're proud of yourself. So wow, just brilliant. Kat McGill, wouldn't it be amazing, Jay? Just remind me, Kat, what you're referring to there. Wouldn't it be amazing? Because these messages are going so fast, trying to just keep up with them. If I was rich, I'd love to buy a massive house to help the homeless. Do you know what, Paula? You know, you see these people win the Euro lottery and they win like 170 million. I say to my wife, that's just a ridiculous amount of money. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to have a couple of million in the bank. Right, a couple of million would be more than enough money for me to live a life of Riley till the day I die, whether that be next week or in 20 years' time. The rest of it, I would gladly change lives. I'd open some kind of a foundation, and I would gladly change lives. And yeah, what you're saying, open up huge hotels all over the place for homeless people. Yeah, and let them just come, feed them for free, because if you had hundreds of millions, I mean, where are all these people in the UK over the last few years? And the country of the UK has had more Euro lottery winners than any other country, haven't they? They've had something like 14, 15 winners or something, totaling something like 900 odd million or a billion or something like that. I mean, hundreds of millions they win on Euro Millions. What are them people actually doing with that? Don't tell me they're sitting in their little 3-bedroom semi, you know, and say it won't change them, and they're sitting with all these hundreds of millions in the banks. And they probably are. They probably spoilt themselves and upgraded from a Ford Focus and bought themselves a Suzuki or something, and they're probably just sitting on millions and millions. Yeah. So Amy's off medication now for 2 weeks. That's a massive step. Amy, well done. Do you know what? Medication didn't agree with me, and my wife will tell you that. It absolutely messed me up, and it took me a long while to get off it. And I eventually got off it and got out the other side. And they get housed and end up unaliving our children. Yep. Well, we only have to see the news today, don't we, of what's happened, the young man in Southport, and it's happening far too often. Victoria Sterling, being on here and hearing your story, Amy, you're an inspiration, stronger than you think. Absolutely spot on, Victoria. Absolutely spot on. Definitely. Having good people in lives. We're on red warning tonight in Ireland. Hopefully no homeless are on the streets. And that's the thing, isn't it? When there's things like that, like red warnings, everyone naturally thinks, oh my God, I hope my fence doesn't blow down. Oh my God, I hope my windows don't blow off. I hope this, I hope that, I hope we don't get snowed in. Very rare do people say things like, I wonder what the homeless are going to do tonight. I hope they're okay. Sorry, Amy. No, you're trusted now with fortnightly meds instead of daily. So they leave you with enough meds for a fortnight, and they're trusting it. Well, that's great, isn't it? That is great. Paula, I now run a private care agency, which makes my depression better, helping people. And you know what, Paula? I get that, because this is only my third live doing this and chatting just in general about, mental health and obviously homeless and my mental health, your mental health, all our mental health. And it is like a therapy to me, and I mentioned earlier when I first started, and if anyone's still on, I'm currently on a keto diet and I'm not drinking. I'm doing a dry January and I'm going to run into a dry February and I'm running into a dry March, and who knows if I ever drink again. I'm not really arsed, but the clarity in my mind is phenomenal. I feel so much better. I'm sleeping better. My brain is so much clearer. There's no fog there. I'm not feeling as depressed. I'm not reacting to some situations as I used to do. It's just unbelievable, So, and then add into the fact that I'm now doing this on here and speaking to people openly and honestly, and yeah, what you said there, it makes your depression better. I totally get what you're saying there. I don't know what this is every time. It always pops up on my live. But it's some silly thing where I've got to drag a jigsaw piece. If anyone knows what that is, just please tell me, because it gets on my tits. I tried to end it all 15 years ago, and now I have 10 beautiful grandchildren. Wow, Kat. Imagine if 15 years ago, you'd succeeded. Glad you didn't, mate. Glad you didn't. Do you know what? Some of the things that people have said on here, I meant. And one great grandchildren. Yeah, you did put 10. I was going to say, bloody hell, that's been a busy 15 years, hasn't it? But even one, fantastic. And I bet that little grandchild, is it grandson, granddaughter? I don't suppose it makes any difference to me, but I bet that little one wants for nothing when he or she's around you, Kat. Thank you for being so open. Yeah, I think it's the only way to be, isn't it? It's the only way to be. And even Amy saying, Kat, I'm glad you're still here. I have to be open. I said when I did this, I was always going to be open. I'm not going to hide anything. This last week since I've started doing this, I've been in a pretty good place again because of the dieting, because of the lack of alcohol, and because I'm coming on here and I'm chatting. It's great for me. It's great therapy. But there's going to be a time when I'm due on here and I'm not in a good place. And I want to be able to still come on. I want people to see a different me, to go, oh, fuck. Yeah, I get it. To see me angry, to see me, like this, or to see me sad and low and depressed. The we can't always just keep showing the happy side. If we're going to talk about mental health, there's one thing talking about it, but there's another thing seeing it. Daddy's anniversary this weekend. Wish he got to see my children. Yeah, that is tough. No, I have 10 grandchildren. That's what I thought you said, Kat. And one great grandchild. Right, okay. Sorry, these messages are flying along. So you have got 10 grandchildren. Wow. And one great grandchild. Bloody hell, I bet that was an expensive Christmas for your cat. Eh? I bet that was expensive. I bet you have to start saving at the end of January ready for Christmas. Yeah, but you wouldn't begrudge them anything, would you? I can imagine. When my depression is bad, I shut myself away, as I don't want to be a burden to anyone. Yeah, but Paula, I get you, but if people around you love you and care for you, you're not going to be a burden. Seriously, you're not. You're not going to be a burden. And again, you're another one. You need to follow everybody. Everybody who's in this group now, myself, everyone needs to follow each other. So when you're feeling that way, just message someone. Just message someone like myself, Amy, Kat, whatever. Just message and just say, this is how I'm feeling today. Sometimes, it just needs for you to say them 4 words. I keep saying I need some help. And that might just be a message of somebody just, geeing you up a little bit. And sometimes you do just need to be told that everything's going to be okay. Depression is one where we get ourselves in a situation where we feel like we can't get out of it, and nothing we can think of in our own mind or nothing we can do can change that. But sometimes it just takes the right words or the right actions from somebody to just help you climb out of that hole. And that is the truth. So you're never going to be a burden on anybody at all. So pleased you found me, as this is good therapy. It is, but again, I'm going to go back. Everybody that seems to tune in is women, and we know for a fact that there's more men in this world that end things than women, because men don't talk, and it's proven that by the 3 lives I've done. I've had a couple of guys on. Fred often comes on. I'm sorry, I've got an itchy nose. I suffer with hay fever even in this kind of year. Fred's been on. There's Brian, but they've not been back on. So we need men on here. I'm going to start pushing for more men to come. I'm not saying you women can't be on it. Of course you can. But we need more men. We need more men to come on and talk. There was a lady on earlier who was on about her son, and I said, maybe see if your son can come down and just watch for a bit. Is she still here? If so, is your son watching? Amy, absolutely. What a thing to say. It's okay not to be okay. You're absolutely spot on. It's okay not to be okay. So glad to hear you say 100%. I hope times change that men feel comfortable enough to talk about their feelings. Well, I'm doing it. And we know there's men out there who want to talk. And that's why I'm saying, if any of you women there have got a partner or a husband or a son or anybody who's male in your family or a friend, get them to come and sit next to you while you're watching me now, and let them just see this guy on here being honest and open. And I'd find it a surprise if by seeing me it didn't make them go, do you know what? If he can do it, I can do it. I'm just trying to read some more of these messages, guys. So I'm going to go back again. If you go into my profile and you go into some of my recent posts, there's one there. It's a picture of a homeless guy, and it's got a GoFundMe on there. Guys, please go on there. Please donate to it for the homeless. And I am going to come to the UK, and I am going to spend time in several different cities. I'd like to think I could do 5 or 6 cities for at least a couple of days each, and in between, half a day traveling, and make a difference. My son is only 11. And he never opens up. I've had him at 3 different counselling for therapy. Yeah, and I think a lot of that, though, Laura, is as well society, isn't it? Because, kids are supposed to be cool. They're supposed to, be with it and all that. And I think kids can be horrible sometimes, can't they? I mean, we all remember from our own school back in the day, kids are brutal at times. And even though we live in a world now where a lot more children are suffering with mental health issues, I still think there's a lot of kids out there who bully children who are struggling. And I think that's why people like your son, 11 years old and even younger and slightly older, find it hard coming forward and talking. And you probably find he went at them counselling sessions and really didn't say a lot. But I also think it's right to say don't give up, because I think sometimes with a counsellor or with a therapist, it's finding that right one. You know, he might just not have clicked with him. An 11-year-old's a funny age, you know, he's a young boy, his body's changing, his personality is changing, he's maturing physically and mentally. So he's at a difficult age. So you've just got to find the right therapist, if you know what I mean. You know, the couple he's been to just might not have been for him. You know, that doesn't mean to say you failed or he's not opening up. I think you'll probably find he will open up and you find that right one. You know, so maybe go to your GP or go to the places you've been to and just speak to them and just explain, say, do you have a therapist here who's had a good success rate with children of your son's age? And maybe they'll say, well, actually, have you ever got this guy or this lady? And maybe try that. And maybe it's just a case of finding the right therapist, because there's somebody out there for everybody to talk to, definitely. So I wouldn't give up. Certainly don't give up. And I know as a mother it must be difficult watching your son suffer, but don't give up. It's just a case of finding the right person for your son. Let me read some more of these comments. You hope one day he's able to open up about his emotions, and he will do. Like I say, you've just got to find that right therapist. He's just got to find that right person. And again, you know, where is he now? Is he upstairs? Tell him to just come and sit down next year. You know, he doesn't have to speak. I won't even talk about him. He doesn't even have to know that we've spoken. Go and get him. Let him sit down next year. Just come and see. Watch this guy. Look at this guy here chatting about mental health. And it could just be the tonic he needs. He might just suddenly think, well, if that guy can do it, then, you know, there's no shame in it. Because again, young kids, you know, it's difficult for them. You know, peer pressure and all that kind of thing. But he will open up. He will open up one day. But get him to sit next to you one night while you're on here. Even tonight, you know, there's not what's to stop you. Grab him and tell him to come and sit his backside down and just come and watch this for 10 minutes. Kat, my heart breaks for the kids. I worry so much for my grandchildren these days. And I think, Kat, as well, I think social media has got a lot to do with that, hasn't it? You know, because we're all, you know, kids pick up social media and they're seeing all these stick-thin, beautiful women or muscular, handsome men, and they're all cool, they're all with it and all that, but that ain't life. It's just fake. But you try telling that to a kid, it's not real. You know, you're seeing superstars, footballers and pop stars and things living the life, and you see these young people on the internet making, you know, flicking their money all over and driving around in the Lamborghinis, but we all know that isn't real life. But you try telling that to a young'un. So when they don't feel like they're living up to the standards that are being shoved in their face every day, it must be very, very difficult for a kid. I mean, obviously a lot of us on here, we're fortunate we grew up in an era where we didn't have the internet and we had to literally go to a library to read a book and find something out. Or, you know, if we wanted to to buy something, we had to physically go into a shop and do things like that. And we weren't bombarded with images of super successful people. And let's face it, most of it's bullshit, isn't it? You know, you got these people sitting on jet aeroplanes wearing Prada clothes, and we've all seen them. It's not even an aeroplane, it's a cardboard thing made to look like an aeroplane. It's all just bullshit. You know, so kids are being fed this absolute bullshit day after day, and they feel like they've got to live up to a certain standard, and that's not the case. And it is difficult for kids. Ali G, hi. Amy Louise, thank you. Yeah, and he takes it as just play, but always nicks him a fat boy, and he's not even fat. Yeah, and that's the kid. That's the thing as well. I mean, kids can, like I said, kids can be brutal, can't they? You know, kids in school they can be so nasty at times, you know, and because a lot of kids, you know, especially boys don't mature like girls. Girls mature a lot earlier than boys. Even in adulthood, I mean, God, I'm 53 now. I don't think I grew up till about 10, 12 years ago. You know, when I met my missus, she was forever saying to me, for God's sake, stop acting like an idiot. You know, she was quite calm, cool, collect. She'd sit watching TV. We'd go out. She was like an adult. I was like a child, because males don't mature like females, and especially when they're younger. So when they're insulting somebody, they don't understand what that's doing, you know, the effect that's having. And when you keep calling somebody something, eventually that person's going to get a complex, and then they're going to stop wanting to go out, then they're going to feel depressed and cut off from the world, and again, it's a difficult world for kids. And like I say, I don't have all the answers, but I have eyes and I have ears and I have a brain, and we can all see what's going on in the world, and we can only protect our kids so much. But once they go to school, we can't protect them while they're there. And let's face it, the schools aren't protecting them, are they? We had this the other night, bullying in schools. The schools aren't protecting our kids, and they're coming home, our kids, and they're being fed so much bull at school. Half of it they don't need in adult life. And they're coming home and, as parents, we're picking up the pieces of the bullying and the name calling and things. We're having to pick up the pieces. And as parents, you'd love to grab hold of someone and throttle them, but life doesn't work that way. You end up being the bad person. So an 11-year-old boy, in the world struggling is a horrible situation to be in. But again, I'll say to you, you will find the right person for him. You will find that right counsellor or that right psychologist who he will just click with, and he'll start talking. Hi everyone, Bridge the Midge. Bridge the Midge. I like that. Bridge the Midge. Kids are so cruel. Yes, they are, and that's what I've just said. They are. And listen, some great kids, and they say some cruel things, but again, it comes down to the maturity of them, doesn't it? And the funny thing is as well is like you say, they call kids names, and they might call a child fat or whatever, and half the time they're not fat. And so often if a kid is fat, they get older. A lot of kids of a certain age get a bit of puppy fat around them. They get to an age where, I've seen my own son. From being 5 up to sort of 19 now, he's taller than me. He's bang on 6'5". He's got like size 12 feet, and he can eat like a frigging horse. And I remember when he'd go dead skinny, he'd look like he was so thin, and then all of a sudden he'd go to this chubby stage, and then he'd stretch again and go out again, and and that happens with kids, and it happens with all kids. So, but yeah, it's difficult. I'm going to go now. Thank you, Jane, everyone. I needed this tonight. Amy, absolutely fantastic, and you take care of yourself. You know where we all are, any one of us. Just send a message when you're feeling down, and somebody will always be here to talk to you. My boy got bullied by kids and an adult in her 40s. Wow. Scottish lass. Now, I can't imagine a Scottish lass standing for that. So, how did you deal with that? What did you do? Amy Louise, take care, darling. Always here. Yeah, well said, Kate. Victoria, everyone, see the love you're getting, Amy. I told you, didn't I, come on here tonight, and you're going to meet some really good people. Laura, she's so soft in nature, takes everything that's said to her to heart. And that's not wrong, being soft in nature. That's good to be soft in nature, because that's obviously the way she's been raised. She's obviously been raised in a nice environment, and being soft is not a bad thing. When people are being cruel to people, that says more about the bullies than it does, the person who's being bullied, doesn't it? Amy's getting a lot of love on her. I'm so pleased about that, because, like I say, a couple of days ago she was in a right bad place. So, Amy, you take care. See you soon. Remember where we all are. It was hard. Couldn't hit the kid, and you did. And I did see what you clouted the adult. Tell me you did. Tell me you did. If you did, there's a virtual handshake. Well done. Tell me that you did. Stay strong, darling. Stay strong, darling. It's hard, but this will pass. Yeah, you're true. Right, Ali, it will. It will pass. My granddaughter's the same. She can be very naive. I don't think it's naive, though, Rhonda. I don't think it's naive. I think that's not a bad trait, having kids. You want kids to be, I call it more susceptible, Is a kid naive for believing in Santa Claus? No. Is a kid naive for believing in the Tooth Fairy? No, that's all part of growing up. We all believed in them. So when kids get to an age and somebody's telling them one thing and a child believes that, then, it's not a bad thing to be naive. But yeah, I get what you're saying. It could get kids into trouble because they can be led into a dangerous situation, trusting people. Yeah. But is it naive, or is it just too trusting sometimes? But being naive as a young one is not a bad trait, to be honest. I used to be soft. I had a daughter who was autistic with learning difficulties, and I am I presume that's going to be a different person now, yeah. And that's good. You've got to be strong for your daughter, haven't you? And I bet you it's really toughened you up. I'm wanting to know where Scottish Lass is. And she said, did you? Yep, I did hit the adult. Go on, tell us about it. So did you get into trouble? I hope you didn't get into trouble for it, because usually that's the case, isn't it? You know, you stick up for your kid and you do what you think. And I just hope you didn't get into trouble. But that's brilliant. There's that handshake again. I was in a similar situation a few years ago. I didn't actually lump the guy one, but probably good I didn't anyway, because like I say, I'm nearly 6'5", and I would have got myself into a lot of trouble. But it got to the point where no one was going to help our boy, and I was at the point where I wanted to just go knock on his door and say to him, you know, every time your son bullies my child, I'm going to come and knock on your door and I'm going to bully you. And I did in so many words say that to him in a public place, which, yeah, not the brightest thing to do. And then I got a little knock on the door from the police, and it was just a quiet word in my ear, just saying to me, you know, you can't do that. But again, being my size, the police come to the door, they look at me, big guy, and I'm always going to be the villain, aren't I? You know, even if there was a mitigating circumstances, I'm always going to be the villain. My niece is, I've read that one, haven't I? Ali G, no, that's lovely that she does, because she definitely can't be broken, Ben, but will never break. Yeah, good. No, never got into trouble, because I said to her she would get it again. Oh, brilliant, I like that. Yeah, so I take it they've left you be, and I take it that the kids have stopped bullying. My missus is on. She's just walked past there. My missus seen me laughing at that Scottish lass. No, never got into trouble, because I said to her she would get it again. Brilliant. That's one of the best things I've seen online. Do you know what? I wouldn't condone violence now, and I said this last night. Condoning violence is, yeah, not. We don't want people to go around lumping people and clouting people all over the place. But when it's your kids, for me, I just think everything's off the table, especially when a 40-year-old is bullying a child as well. You know, I mean, I was in a situation once, I've got to tell you this, and you've got to see the funny side of it. So my son was getting bullied at school, and he used to go in the street, and he used to get bullied in the street. And one Sunday morning, I'm up in the house, and my little lad goes out to play in the street. And he was only out for about 5 minutes, and all we heard was screaming and wailing and crying. And I looked out the bedroom window, and all I've got on, and you got to imagine me, right? All I've got on is a pair of Superman thick pyjama pants. No top, no socks, just these Superman pants. And as I go out to the window, people are picking on my kid, and I shout at the window to leave him alone. So the kid goes to get his dad, and the dad comes out on the driveway over the street, and he starts shouting at my son. Well, suffering from borderline personality, I was in a bit of a shithole at the time. So he picked on the wrong man on the wrong day. I ran down the stairs, I ran out the door, I ran across the street, and this guy had a gravel driveway, and I'm on his driveway in my bare feet, in my Superman pants, and this guy comes at me with my wife will probably remind me on the arm, thinking it was a plank of wood or a stick or something, and he come at me, and I can handle myself, and I managed to grab this out of his hand, and I managed to fling him. I mean, I was much bigger than him. I flung him on his back, on the floor, and I put my knee into his chest. Now all the time he's dragging me, and at any time these pants could have come down and showed everything. I had my knee into his chest. And this is the type of family we live. While I'm on the floor, the young man's son, who was bullying my kid, ran into his house and came out with a knife. Now, luckily, somebody in the street stopped this, but this is a 6 or 7-year-old kid ran out of the house with a knife. And it was a horrible situation to be in, and that's the situations we get ourselves in for our kids. The police were called. They didn't come and knock on my door. I think one of the neighbours had said what happened. They didn't actually come and knock on my door, but it wasn't a situation I liked to be in. All my feet were scraped, my arms were scraped, you know, and my knees were battered. I had gravel rash all over my feet. I was angry, I was upset, and it was just a situation I didn't want to be in. But that just goes back to what you're saying there, the things we'll do for our kids, and I would do it again. But I was proud of myself, because even though I was in that hole, when I was on top of him, God, if I'd have lost my shit and then just pummeled him, I mean, then I would have been in a lot of trouble, but I didn't. I just put my knee in his chest, I had one hand around his throat, and I just told him, you or your son ever bully my son again, and you'll get worse than this. And I've got to give them the credit, like, they stayed away from us. They didn't ever bother me again. But to be honest, if I was his size, he was probably about 5'9", 12 stone. I'm 6'5", 17.5 stone. If someone my size had done that to me, I don't think I'd want to go and have a go again. But yeah, that's a situation you get in with your son. But you've got the funny side of it was when I came in and I sat down and my wife just stood there and she pissed herself laughing. She went, "Have you seen what you're wearing?" And it never even crossed my mind what I was wearing at the time. As far as I was concerned, I had my jacket on, my shoes on, my jeans on. I ran across the road for a scrap. And all I had on was this thin bit of material and then nothing else. So I've got to see the funny side of that. But yeah, the situations we get in, and it was mad. But we will do anything for our kids, and hat off to you there for doing that. Telling her she'd get it again. 'Cause that's exactly what I did. You know, I said to him, "If you ever bully my kid again, then, you know." But I didn't go out to fight. I just went out to tell this guy, you know, leave my kid alone. And then he come at me with this weapon. And my wife will probably tell you somewhere, and here's a go down, what it was. I think it was a piece of wood or a plank of wood or something, but Sharp took it off him. I mean, I don't even know if he hit me with it, I'm not sure. My African grey heard your bird and won't stop singing now. How old's your African grey, Paula? Haha, that's class. The funny thing about the Valley is like I say, what I was wearing. I mean, it was a bit like Rob C. Nesbitt kind of territory, because the family over the road, I mean, listen, we're not posh, we're not anything fancy, we just work hard, pay our bills and keep ourselves to ourselves. This family, we found out in time, they were into all kinds of things. They weren't a nice kind of family, but just rolling around on the floor in my PJ bottoms, and there were Superman ones as well, so it was like, is it a bird, is it a plane? No, it was Jane in Superman pants. You know, we've had all these jokes about it. So she should. You taught her the right way. Fair play to you, girl. Yeah, well done, you did. You dealt with it. But did you deal with it in a pair of Superman pants? You didn't, did you? A knife, yeah, this was the kid. My wife's on here, she'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was a knife that the kid brought. I'm sure it was, because people were saying he's got a knife. Yeah, I've got to laugh at it, I've got to look at the funny side, but there's me steaming across the road. In my eyes, I've got my trainers on, my jeans on, a hoodie on, and I'm going across the road, just have a word with this bloke, and in theory, I actually had on a pair of pyjama pants, and nothing else. No top, no shoes, no socks, nothing, not even a pair of slippers or flip-flops. So, it's amazing, you know, when you see red, you see red. No, she had Wonder Woman pants on. yeah, probably. A protective father, yes, I was, but that could have been so much worse, though, couldn't it? You know, when you think of just a couple of kids in the street bullying, and you know what it led to. It's a Sunday morning. You know, you get up on a Sunday morning, you're just about to have a bacon sandwich and a cup of coffee and just chill out and have a lazy day. You're back at work the next day, and next thing you're in the middle of the street in a pair of pyjama Superman pants, and you're rolling around giving someone a scene to. So leggings and a hoodie. Yeah, you had a little bit more than I had on, but fair play to you. You know, like I say, I don't condone violence, but you know, you did what you had to do, and it's done the job, hasn't it? I take it the bullying stopped. Now, have we got any guys on here yet? Come on, we need some men. I need to stress, we need men on here. We need men on here, because I do want to get a man on here one night, and I want to do a live with somebody, and I want to speak. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Super J. Yeah, not my proudest moment, I can tell you. Not my proudest moment. But yeah, something to, I mean, I'm going back. God, when was this? Probably about 2013, something like that. So yeah, it wasn't one of my best Sunday mornings. Yeah, it stopped, thank God. Yeah, and how is your young'un now since it all stopped? I mean, I don't suppose anyone's going to want to pick on your young'un now, because they've got mum to deal with, and sometimes you've got to step out your comfort zone and be a badass. And once people realise that you're going to stand up to the bullies, and we've all heard it, haven't we? You know, our parents told us when we were younger, you know, sometimes you be the first one, you punch them on the nose, and you know, and let them know that you're not going to be bullied. And sometimes it does actually work. You know, if someone's bullying you, sometimes the only way to deal with it is to, you know, get physical, and if you have to get physical and it stops, then you did the right thing. He is good now. Good, that's great to hear. But did your son witness you deal out your own kind of retribution? Did he witness that? Or obviously, I'm sure he's heard of it. You've told him, I suppose. But did he actually see Mum go and give this woman a clout? I'm glad I was on live with Hayley. Well, that wasn't the plan. Hayley was actually on with us. It was me and Lisa were doing a chat about John George, And I know Lisa's friends with Hayley. I've never really actually watched a lot of Hayley, but she speaks a lot of sense. I know she gets a lot of hate, but I suppose a lot of people on here get a lot of hate. I'm only new to this, and I've had my fair share of it. But, she speaks a lot of sense, and I can understand she's not everyone's cup of tea. I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but yeah, it was nice she come on, because it was actually nice listening to her, and I've read so many negative things to actually be on there, and then she came and joined, which was nice, and listen to her. I don't understand why she gets hate. I just don't. If you don't like somebody, just don't watch them. You don't have to give them shit, do you? I mean, it all comes down to bullying at the end of the day. Like you're saying there, Scottish lass, your son was bullied, and other people have been bullied, but it's happening all the time in front of our eyes. We can go onto TikTok and somebody will put a funny video on, and there's always one arsehole on there who has to say something really derogatory, and you think, why? Why? It's just a form of bullying, isn't it? I mean, half the time people wouldn't say it to the face. If you don't like somebody, don't watch them, don't click on them, don't search them, not even out of curiosity. If you don't like them, you don't like them, just leave them be, but you don't have to give them shit. And it was actually nice having her on there. She seems like a really nice person, and I'd like in future to do more. She speaks a lot of sense, and from what she's saying, she's worked as a criminologist. She's done a lot of good in the Jay Slater case. She's done some great stuff with John George, and I know she's covered other cases. And I know people say, like, why doesn't she cover this, and this? But I mean, she's a young mother herself. She has 3 children. And listening to her story last night, only a few years ago, she recovered. She recovered from some kind of addiction. So I've got to take my hat off to her, and she's in a position now to help people. Well, I can only commend her for that. I'm not gonna diss her. I don't know her well enough, but I spent I'd probably say about 45 minutes, maybe an hour, maybe a little bit longer with her on our live last night. And I actually thought she was nice, And I'm like that with most people. Until somebody does something to piss me off, or something that I think is bang out of order, then, yeah, but as far as I'm concerned, I have no issue. Seems like a nice person to me, and all I've seen her do is good. So I ain't got a problem. Let's have a look what we got on here now then. So let me just go back. I'm going to try and read most of your comments. Okay. You, Lisa and Hayley, were amazing. Thank you. I actually enjoyed it last night. It was good, and it was nice having... I mean, usually Lisa will ask me questions. I'll answer, I'll ask her, because it was actually nice when Hayley joined in. At first I was like, wow, this person's been on TikTok. I sat back a bit, and I thought, okay. And then I just joined the conversation, and she was really easy to speak to, and it was nice having that other point of view. Having worked closely with the family ourselves and things like that, and being here in Spain, searching in the area, we had our point of view. Hayley's spoken to the family several times, and she's obviously got her information. Obviously, Lisa, living in Belfast, living around it, she's got her point of view. So it was actually a very good live last night. It was a good live, yeah. And if you haven't seen it, if you go onto YouTube and type in The Observer, she's actually put it on, but she's only put it on from where Hayley joined. She hasn't got the early bit on where it was just me and Lisa, but that's not a problem, because the good stuff was when Hayley come on, really. We really got into some good stuff. Comment here, adore that woman. Jay, how do I donate to the GoFundMe you were talking about? Right, Kat, if you go onto my profile, if you click on my profile, and there's a picture on there, I think I put it on yesterday, it's a picture of a homeless guy, and on the actual picture it says GoFundMe. Now you can't click on it, because it is just copy and paste it, or if you just send a message, and I'll send you it in a message, and you can copy and paste it that way. So if you just send it like a message in the inbox asking for the GoFundMe, and I'll send you it, and you can just go on there. I only set it up yesterday. I've sent it to a few groups that I'm on WhatsApp. I'm speaking with people out here to start doing some charity things and raising money. Obviously, I'm going to try and put some of my own money in from my business, and anything I can get. But I just need to start raising money. But yeah, if you just send me an inbox, and I'll just copy and paste it on there for you, and you can go that way. There is a QR code, and what I will do is I'll put that on my on my TikTok later on. It's all down to jealousy. You're right, actually. Yeah, there's a lot of jealous people out there, isn't there? There's a lot of jealous people out there, and I never understand some of it. I mean, if I have something to say about someone, I'll say it to the face, and that's always been my downfall. Sometimes I'm too brutally honest. Sometimes I can be over the top. If someone calls me an arsehole, I'll call them all the names under the sun. I'll keep calling them instead of just calling them an arsehole back. So sometimes I can go over the top, but that again is my BPD. But I like to be brutally honest. If someone has an issue with me, you know, I'd rather, even if I can't see them face, I'd rather get on a phone or send them a WhatsApp personally, directly, and, you know, say, ring me or whatever, and say it to the face, speak to them, and tell them exactly how I feel. But to be honest, what's the point? Sometimes what's the point? But all these people who come onto these social media sites and start, you know, just sending abuse, I think sometimes it says more about them than people like Hayley and that. I mean, Hayley's only trying to do good, whether you like her or not. She's only trying to do good, and she has done good, so I can only commend her for that. And if someone's got a problem with that, then it says more about them, doesn't it, than Hayley herself. Same here, she is amazing at what she does. You know, like I say, I've not had a lot to do with her, Ali. Sorry, Scottish lassie. I've not had a lot to do with Hayley until last night. You know, I've heard people talk about her, but I've been busy with my own thing. I have my own work. I've obviously had my own personal life going on this last week or so with our own lives. I've been doing my own lives, and in between that, I like to watch a bit of TV. I like to, you know, to live my life as well. I haven't really had time, but since last night, since Hayley came and joined us, I will start. I mean, I followed her now. She's following me, and it was great to chat to her last night, and you know, and hopefully I can do some more. You know, I'd like to maybe one night invite her onto here, and you know, if I can get onto here and get some more eyes on this, then great. You know, and I'm sure she'd be glad to do that. But yeah, I've got nothing bad to say about Hayley. I quite liked her. I thought she was nice, but I will start watching a lot more of hers now. I mean, I heard somebody say something about the way she comes across. She can be a bit this, a bit that. What do they mean? I mean, we're all a bit something, aren't we? I mean, I'm often a bit nice, and I'm often a bit of a dickhead, and I'm often a bit of an arsehole, you know, and I'm often a bit too much. What do they mean? A bit what? You know, none of us are perfect. So again, it just comes down to people just spouting shit, don't they? You know, if they've got nothing better to say, shut your fucking mouth. That's the best thing I can say about it. Big up for supporting Hayley. She's a phenomenal one. See, I mean, it's only love for her on here, so again, you know, she's only getting love, and I understand why. She's done a lot. She's amazing. She's not well today, so not sure she will be on. Okay. We have a red warning here. I'm in my PJs with candles ready. Okay. Yeah, PJs maybe is not the sort of thing you want to be if you're on a red warning. And what are they saying is that you're expecting? Is it snow or is it winds and rain or what you're actually expecting there? Tony Maguire, she's amazing. Like I say, I can't comment on it, but from the brief encounter we had last night, I thought she was quite engaging. You know, she didn't take over the conversation. You know, she'd say a bit and then she'd let Lisa speak or me speak. I mean, at one point someone actually said, can you women please let Jay speak a bit more? And I was absolutely fine. I mean, I had plenty to say. I wasn't sitting quiet. I wasn't letting it. Nobody dominated the conversation, like I've heard people say. I just thought she was quite. I liked her. I didn't have a problem with her. You know, if people have a problem with her, then that's their problem, isn't it? Red alert, wind. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I hate wind. Like I'm a lot of a lover of snow, but I'd much rather have snow and rain than wind. Wind is just horrendous, isn't it? It just smashes the shit out of everything. Red weather warning for wind and rain. All schools closed tomorrow. I bet the kids are loving that then. 100 mile an hour. Wow. Cat McGaw, I'm jealous, lol. Jealous of what? What are you jealous of? The fact that we're living in Spain and we're not going to have all them winds. And trust me, we do get wind. And when we get rain, Jesus, it rains. Red weather warning for wind. Yeah, we just had that one. All schools closed tomorrow. She's a very intelligent, intellectual, lovely lady. Yeah, I must admit she did speak well. She comes across well. Like I say, I don't know her backstory. She did briefly say last night that she'd suffered some kind of addiction and she recovered from that a few years ago. She's got 3 daughters. You know, so she's a young mother raising 3 daughters, and you know, she's overcome addictions. And what people don't realize, addiction's a daily fight. You don't just stop being an addict and then your life's fine. You know, that's a constant battle. You know, and she's doing all sorts on social media trying to help people. So fair play to her. I like Hayley because she's not the usual true crime creators. She feels the pain. Yeah, I get that. Hurricane 2 strength coming here in the Midlands and in Ireland. Wow. Tesco's have closed too. Wow. Tesco's have closed, eh? God, it must be bad if supermarkets are closing the doors, eh? I'm working all weekend, I'm scared. And are they expecting it all weekend, or is it just tonight and sort of tomorrow? Are you working indoors? Or are you working outdoors? Please tell me you're working indoors. Hurricane planes landed in Dublin Airport. Wow. Well, I'd love to be in Spain right now. We've got our winter at the minute, and it is a bit chilly. We get up in the morning and it is a bit chilly. I say chilly, I mean, some days I still put shorts on. Most days it's just a pair of sort of tracky bottoms or some sort of cargo pants or something, trainers, t-shirt and a hoodie. I mean, at the moment I'm living in hoodies. It's a beige one, it's a blue one, it's a cream one, it's a grey one. You know, every day is a hoodie. You know, every day is a hoodie day, and it gets to, I mean, this afternoon, finished work, the missus popped out for a bit, just went and done a little bit of shopping, and I was in the car and I went, Jesus, I'm warm, I need to take my hoodie off. And we looked at the thermometer on the car, and I want to really piss you all off, it said 27.5 degrees C. That was this afternoon, and that's January the 23rd in Spain. So yeah, sorry if that hurt, guys, but I do feel you. I do hope you're all safe through the wind. You know, I mean, obviously I'm talking about how warm it is here in Spain. That's just a bit of jest, but yeah, I do hope you all stay safe till 3 o'clock tomorrow. So, you know, batten down the hatches, yeah. No deliveries allowed because of the red national warning. This sounds like a bad one. This sounds like one that is going to happen then, eh? You need to all let me know if it does happen. If one of you could, get a video or something. When this all kicks off, get a video of it and just get it on the TikTok. Send it to me, I'll put it on TikTok, whatever, but get it on your TikTok. Get people tagged in it. Let's have a look at it. I might call in sick and tell them I got blown away. Do it. You know, I would do it. Just tell them you're leaving the house to get in the car and the wind caught you and blew you in the car and you banged your elbow and you're going to go to the doctor. Tell them that. Well, they can't prove you wrong, can they? Yeah, that's a good one, that, isn't it? I come up with that lie far too easy. Shows how many times I've skived off from work. Until 7 a.m. till 2 p.m. tomorrow. What we're saying? We have it for Sunday in the North Wales. Yeah, so I take it it's coming from Ireland. It's going to sweep across the UK then. At some point we'll get it. It'll travel through Europe and down to Spain. We usually get it. Just don't go out with a brolly. Yeah. If you're doing the wind grabs it, please leave go of that brolly. Wish it was just chilly here, Jay. It's Baltic in Belfast. What sort of temperatures you got now in the morning when you sort of leave the house 8-9 o'clock in the morning? What sort of temperature is it in Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland and anywhere in Ireland? Let me have a look. Baltic in the UK. Yeah. Well, my wife's got to go back to the UK, and honestly, she's only slight anyway. I don't know what she weighs now. She's lost a bit of weight recently, but she is only thin. And I said to her, "How are you going to stay warm in the UK next week?" She's going back for a funeral. She's going on Monday, back Thursday. And I said to her, She has actually got one jacket that she could take, but I don't know how she's going to keep warm because we're so acclimatized out here in Spain. You know, we feel the winters, but once it gets to middle of March, you start hitting 25, 30 degrees average on a daytime, and our bodies are used to that. It's going to kill her going back to the UK next week. It's going to be absolute nightmare for her. Like autumn in Spain, but awesome weather. I love the autumn, but I also love when we come into spring as well. We get to sort of March time, and we get to when the clocks go forward in March. And then you just sort of see Spain come alive. You know, you start seeing the flowers, and you start seeing the place livens up. You know, the bars start putting more brollies out and things like that. You know, you start seeing people wearing the vests and the shorts, and the country just comes alive. And it gets to October, and everyone just, it's almost like a hibernation. But yeah, it is lovely. But it does get too hot. 48, 50 degrees sometimes in the summer is just ridiculous. It gets a bit much. Someone's saying Kay's too lovely. She is. She's a lucky lass, my missus, having met me, I'll say that. She bless her. I live in Turkey. I've just come back to Northern Ireland for a week. It's freezing now. Oh, God, your timing's shocking, Lorraine. Absolutely shocking timing. So you know exactly what... It gets even hotter in Turkey. I've been to Turkey, been to Bodrum a few times. What's the other place? Antalya, I've been there as well. And it's like 50-odd degrees. Ridiculous heat. No one will have a wheelie bin to the name. Yeah, it'll be like a big pile of wheelie bins at the end of each street, won't you? Everyone will be there trying to sift through. I hope you got your numbers painted on them. Oh, me too, love. I'm ready for it. Ready for it. I don't think anyone's going to be ready for that, are they? Alarms went off on the phone today, scared the shit out of me. First red warning here. First red warning here since 2017, last bad storm. We had bad floods in Spain back in 2019, I think I'm right, 19. No, it wasn't, 2000 and... when was COVID? 2020. 2020, yes. We had some really bad storms, absolutely flooded the country. 1C in Lincolnshire. So that's 1 degree C in Lincolnshire now, but that's now. What's it going to be when it's sort of early hours of the morning? She's dreading the cold. Yeah, I bet she is. Tell her to bring some jumpers because it's freezing. I don't think any amount of jumpers is going to keep her warm. I mean, this is my missus, right, in Spain, in the summer when it's warm. I'm a typical guy. I'm laid on the bed, pair of shorts on, no covers on, fan on, aircon on. She's wrapped up in her pyjamas, blankets, quilts, the lot. And I'm not shitting you, that she is. So she's just one of the... I think it's a woman thing, innit? I think all you women are like that. You can wrap around in 3 blankets, 4 sets of pyjamas, and you're still cold. Us fellas are sweating our tits off in a pair of boxer shorts, you know, with no blankets on us, and we're complaining. She'll have to do some shopping, it's so cold here. It's absolutely freezing. I think you've all just ruined her night. She's now dreading it. She's not looking forward to coming back anyway, but yeah, it's absolutely freezing. Yeah, very hot in the summer in Turkey. Yeah, it is. I like Turkey. I like all them fakes you get. I remember going to Bodrum and seeing a sign on the wall, original fake Burberry. I mean, original fake. Brilliant. It really got me. They sell some good shit though. Did you hear that Monsu took the children's lives in Southport, got a minimum? Yes, I did see it. I caught it just before I came on here. But even that, 52 years, what is he, 14, 15-year-old? So, you know, he's still going to get out when he's 60-odd, if that's the case. I mean, I know the judge said you're likely to spend all of your life in jail, but thing is, he'll be protected, won't he? You know, for a number of years he's going to be protected, and he'll change his ID, they'll segregate him on a wing and things like that. So, you know, still doesn't bring them young kids back, does it? Still doesn't bring them back at all, you know. And it's sad to say though, and I'm going to say it, it will happen again until something's done, you know, and no matter how much public outcry there is and people, you know, banging their fists and screaming and shouting how terrible and evil this whole situation was, we all know it'll happen again until something happens. Justice, thank the Lord. Yeah, that's why we need the death penalty in the UK. Yeah, it'll never happen though, will it? You know, the do-gooders will never let it happen. That's me, no matter how warm jammies, house coats and slippers, it's a comfort thing. It's a woman thing, it's not a comfort thing, Tracy, it's a woman thing. It is. And I'm not being sexist, by the way, it's just a woman thing. It is. No, no, but laughing. That's why we definitely do need that in the UK, Fred. How are you doing, mate? Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to be going soon, guys, anyway, but listen, we need to get guys on, we need to get more fellas on. I mean, Fred's joined us. I know Fred's got his own live at 8 o'clock, I think, Fred, and he's going to be talking about mental health. So anyone who doesn't follow Fred, I will try and catch a little bit, Fred, but I've got some stuff to do. I will try and tune in for 5 minutes, just catch it, and maybe one night, Fred, if you're up for it, we'll do a live together, and we'll have a bit of back and forth. How would you feel about that? It's nice that there's a guy on here, actually, and a guy who himself does things like this. I mean, I don't know how long, Fred may have been doing it a little bit longer than me. This is only my 3rd live, but it'd be interesting, me and you doing a live one night, Fred, and having a good old chinwag. We love our comforts. Like, my husband thinks I'm crazy, but my house coat comes everywhere. Well, here's a funny one. My missus has never been one for dressing gowns, or as you call them, a house coat. And at Christmas, I deliberately went and bought her one, and she opened it. I remember her opening it on Christmas Day, and she sort of looked at it, and I went, "What's the matter? You're not like a dressing gown?" She went, "Well, I've never had one, have I?" And I went, "Well, you know, I don't think I'll wear it." You ask her how often she wears it now. She's always got it. She's got it on now. She's wandering around. She's got it on. She's got it tied around the middle, and she's got it tight. She's got her thick socks on. She's sitting there with her blankets, and she's got the heater and the fire on in there. And she'll come in here soon, and she'll still say she's cold. Same as was with Ventus and Thompson. Yep. Yeah, you're right. It was. You know, they're protected. And one of them got out. I mean, they shouldn't. I mean, why did they, after so many years, get out? You know, what they did. You know, I don't want to go into that. I'll probably get a warning on here. But yeah, you know, it's happening over and over again and again. And I so hope I'm wrong, but it will happen again. There's something similar in a different part of the country, or it will happen again. And it's just, you know, heartbreaking. Yeah, shocking. And when it happened, I mean, The whole country was up in arms. I mean, remember Tommy Robinson when he reported on it and everyone said he reported wrong? We've all seen the press footage, the picture they put out, and then we've all seen the real picture of the culprit, trying to portray him to be this innocent, young, likeable kid who wouldn't harm a fly. And apparently he's tried it 10 other times and threatened people. The truth comes out, but the press are despicable. The press are despicable. I mean, I wouldn't say they protected him, but by the way they reported this, trying to make this young kid out to be a troubled soul with some mental health issues. Listen, I got mental health issues. I can be as fucked up as the next person, but I ain't going out doing that to people, and none of us are. So don't blame that on mental health. I'm sorry, I find that insulting. I really find it insulting. So let's see where we're at. Let's get some more comments. Fred, my wife's always cold. Yeah. Kay always likes to be warm. I'm good, mate. I'm going live soon. Yeah, you are, Fred. What I'm saying is, you've replied there. Me and you one night, we need to do a live together because you like to talk about mental health, and I want to engage with you more, Fred. I mean, we've had a few back and forths, haven't we? Messages today, and you told me you're going live. I'd like to maybe one night if we can do something together, get us on the split screen. We'll have a bit of back and forth, have a good chat. Get some of my followers in, get some of your followers in. Hopefully, get a good crowd and. Again, let's start talking about mental health because it's something that is never ever going to go away, and it's something that is very difficult for men to talk about. And I know it was for me, but hat off to you, Fred. You're like me. Eventually, you've got your issues and you've spoken about them, and now you're like me. You come on here and you speak to people and you open up. So fair play to you, mate. But I would definitely love one night to do something with you online, and we do a live together. You do painting for mental health. Top man. Yeah, I like that. Do you know what? I've just started doing this for my mental health, and I enjoy it. I enjoy just chatting to the people, and it's good. But I have other things. I play a bit of golf. Well, I'm not very good at golf, but I play. Some beautiful golf courses here, and it's not expensive. Especially as we get into the warmer weather as well. I mean, you can have a great round of golf here on some absolutely stunning golf courses. You've got tortoises, flamingos on the fairways, and you're talking about €45 for a golf buggy and a round of golf. I mean, that's about 39 quid, at some absolutely stunning golf courses. So yeah, I love my golf. I'm absolutely shit at it, I'll be honest with you, but you know what, I just love it. I just love getting on the golf course, hitting a lovely shot and thinking you're Seve Ballesteros, and then hitting another shot and you just want to smash a tree with your golf club. That you get it all out, get all this out there. It's brilliant. And I play a lot of football as well, so I love my football. Take care, everyone. Much love. Yeah, that's the missus coming off. I'm also Welsh and ex-military like you. Yes, Welsh. Top man. My grandmother, my great-grandmother, all Welsh. I was raised just as British as English, really, but I'm as Welsh. I feel Welsh. I am Welsh. Put it one way, I've never, ever, ever liked watching England football team. Never supported them. I've always watched the Welsh team play. I've even supported Scotland and Ireland. It's funny that, isn't it? If I was watching Ireland play football now, I'm rooting for them. If I'm watching Wales, obviously I'm rooting for them. If I'm watching Scotland, I want them to play. I want them to win unless they play Wales. When England play, I just support whoever England are playing. That's it. Always have done. And that's no disrespect to the English. It's just the way I feel, And my wife being Italian as well, half Italian. When England played Italy in the Euro final a few years back, well, it was mental out here. I mean, the English out here, they just took over the town in these red crosses. But going out on that Monday morning, knowing that Italy had won on the penalties, wasn't it? It was great. It was great being a Welshman. I joked my wife that a night of passion in winter is like a game of pass the parcel. Yeah, I get you, mate. Yeah. I like that one. Do you mind if I copy that and use it in my stand-up? I could really expand on that joke. In fact, it's out there, Fred. It's public knowledge, so I want to nick it. I like that. Like a pass the parcel. Unfortunately, it will. Yeah. I didn't know you were Welsh, Jay. I'm too from Wrexham. Right. Well, my best mate who lives out here, Stu, he's from Chester. So just down the road. I used to park in Chester a lot when I drove trucks. I used to park. I tell you where it was. Opposite Tesco, you've got a fitness centre on the corner. There's a lay-by outside that fitness centre. Now, you can picture it. There's some shops nearby. I think there was a Blockbuster there at one point. But there's a little lay-by right outside a fitness centre opposite the big Tesco store. I used to park my truck in there if I ever nipped into Tesco and it was empty, I'd park in there. I'd go have a little beer in the town, or I'd park in the Wrexham industrial estate where I was doing my deliveries. So I know Wrexham pretty well. Let's have a look on here. 100%. Exactly. The press thrive in others' misery. Yes, they do. They do, yeah. Do you know where I mean, Mel? Where I'm telling you about outside that fitness centre? I don't know if it's a fitness centre now, may not be, I'm not sure, but it used to be a fitness centre. There was a massive lay-by. Used to get a truck in it and 3 or 4 cars behind me. What's that, Cat? 100% yeah. What was that for? Sorry, Cat. I'm trying to keep up with all these messages. Yes, we will, man. I'll speak to you offline. And so I definitely, Fred, yeah, I look forward to that. I think that could be great. I'm probably not going to go live now until, what we on now, Thursday, probably Monday. I'm going to start doing sort of Monday, Thursday. Although, no, next Monday I won't be doing it. Next Monday my wife goes to the UK and I've got a friendly football match on the Monday night against a team I used to play for, so I've got to be there. I play up front as well, so it's not going to be any better feeling for me bagging a couple of goals and beating them. And will I rub it in their face? Of course I will. Of course I will rub it in the face, yes. Yes, I'll probably over-celebrate, I'll probably scream and shout, make an absolute twat of myself. But yes, if I score and we win the game, yes, I will definitely rub it in their faces. Yes, we will, mate, speak soon. We were told to suck it up and say, yeah, you're right. Absolutely spot on. Hi, Jay, hope Kay's okay. Yeah, like a girl she is, she's just been on here, she's gone off for the night. She's good, she's feeling better. We nipped out today, did a bit of shopping, so yeah, it was nice to get her out. And you always know when Kay's feeling better because she spends more money than we plan on spending, and we went into a shop and I thought probably spend 20 odd euros, and she just kept filling the trolley like she does, so I know she's feeling a little bit better. Thanks, Jim. Over 50s walking football. It is, Fred, yeah, it is. Until I moved to Spain, I used to play over 40s in the northeast of England. It was a very, very good standard. A lot of ex-pros playing there. But since I've come to Spain, I just thought my football days were over, and I used to see this walking football and think, nah, I'm not old enough for that. But I've played at a good level, and I do enjoy it, but it is frustrating. I mean, they're getting stricter and stricter with it. But yeah, it's fun. It is good fun. At the end of the day, it lets off a bit of steam. And it's all about hanging out with the guys and, you know, like-minded fellas. No one wants to hurt anyone. No one's flying into tackles. You know, if you do accidentally kick someone, the first thing you do is you shake your hand, you're apologetic. You know, it is just about some old guys letting off a bit of steam, and it's great for mental health. You know, so it gets you out there and it gets you running around. You can do, mate. Yep. Let me just have a look. A few more of these comments and I am going to go, guys. But it's been absolutely fantastic chatting tonight. What I am going to do again, I'm going to mention it. You all, any of you guys who know about my plans for the homeless, I'm going to go to the UK this year, and I'm going to spend some time living on the streets in various cities around the UK with the homeless, living authentically with them. You know, I'm not going to have a bag of clothes. I'm not going to have, you know, food in my pocket. I'm not going to be cheating. I'm not going to be staying in a hotel room on a night and hanging around with them on a morning. I'm going to be staying with them, sleeping with them. I need to raise funds. I need some security for a night time while I'm there. And I want to try and raise some money to buy some better recording equipment, you know, some top-notch equipment to make it a quality documentary. Obviously, I've got to pay for proper people to put it into a documentary format. It's all going to cost money, so I have got a GoFundMe on my TikTok. There's a picture I took yesterday of the homeless, and there's a GoFundMe on there. If you copy and paste it, and then you click on it, you'll be able to get it. But I am going to actually put the QR code of the GoFundMe on there. If any of you guys would like to donate as little or as much as you want, I need to raise the funds. I need to get across there, and it's something that means a hell of a lot to me. I'm going to do that because we're in reverse, aren't we? So something that means a lot to me. It's something I'm passionate about, and it's something that I am going to do, and I want to be able to do it and document it. And homelessness and mental health, they both go side to side. We all know that, you know, there's a lot of people on the streets suffering terribly day in, day out. So yeah, it is something I'm going to do. So any of you guys want to go on my profile and just click on that picture, copy and paste the GoFundMe and go from there. But I will put the QR code up. and it'll be on there. And anyone who hasn't seen this video, I am going to upload it and I'll put it onto my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is only new. It's only been going a couple of, well, I did actually set it up about 2 years ago. I've finally only put my first video on there a couple of weeks ago. There's not a lot of subscribers, so please go on there and subscribe. Please go on there and like. The more subscribers that I get on there, the more people see it, and the more eyes and ears we can get on mental health and homeless. So I will upload this video to that as well. But anybody who would like to help, donate. You know, anybody who's in the UK, and if I end up coming to your city, come down and visit us. Come down and let's chat. You know, let's finally meet each other, and that'll be great. I know exactly what you mean. Small world. Yeah, it is a small world. It is, yeah. And I'm going to tell you a story. I used to obviously drive trucks, and I used to wear shorts, and I used to wear my socks. But I used to have a pair of Crocs in my cab, right? And I used to just wear them for driving in. But one night, pulled them into Wrexham. I've got a vest on, I've got a pair of shorts on, I've got a pair of socks on, and yeah, you guessed it, Mel. I had a pair of Crocs on, and not even thinking, I walked into Tesco to buy some sort of meat and bread, a couple of cans of beer, a bit of milk, you know, some fruit and that to put in my fridge in my truck. As I'm walking around, I remember I was on the phone with my wife, and I said to her, "Oh my fucking God, you're not going to believe this." She went, "Oh, what's happened?" I went, "I'm walking around Tesco in Wales with a pair of Crocs and socks." And the first thing she said, "Get out of there now and go and get changed." I went, "Doesn't matter." I said, "They'll all think I'm a foreign truck driver." I even went to the counter and I actually spoke foreign just so they wouldn't think I was English. I was so embarrassed. I was walking around Tesco in Wrexham in a pair of Crocs and socks. So already tonight, you've heard about my fashion. My Superman pyjamas and my Crocs and socks. I'm not painting a good picture of myself, am I? I remember watching Wales and Canada in football at a race course. Right. When was that? When was that one, Fred? They say a small world, and the whales always catch each other. They do, yeah. It's true that. The racecourse has changed a lot for the better. It's such a small world. Yes, it has. I really enjoyed this live tonight, Kat. Thank you, Kat. Send her my love, Jem. Not all women love to spend money. I'm not going to argue with you, Kat. I'm not going to argue with you. I like when my missus spends money. I always moan at her, but it makes her happy, doesn't it? You know. And she's not a materialistic woman, my missus. She likes nice things, but she's not materialistic. She's not high maintenance. She's just a really lovely woman, and I'm blessed to have her. Cat McGill, yes, no one thinks from a motorbike away from motorbikes. Mate of mine plays for Oxford United, walking football. We tend to find, Fred, we get a lot of English teams coming across. We have a tournament down in Malaga, and we've had people there like what's his name now? Ex-Liverpool players playing there, you know, and you know, quality players, but it's a good leveler. Walking football is a good leveler. We help a couple of homeless guys in our city. Hat off to you, top man. Top man. Yes, Oxford United walking football. They are going to be having the Walking Football World Cup. Is in Spain this year, isn't it? It is in Spain this year, but they've adopted them stupid English rules. It's too much. I hope they go back to the old rules. Yeah, defo would be great. Stay safe on the bike, girl. Good to see you so happy. It shouldn't be happening when immigrants are in 5-star hotels, all expenses paid. You're absolutely spot on, Mel. You are absolutely spot on. It shouldn't be happening. My son is very passionate about helping the homeless. Yeah, you said that earlier on, Kat, and that's good. You know, keep encouraging that. Really keep encouraging that. Fantastic. Let's make it happen. My YouTube is, well, it's actually JLad. But if you go onto my profile on here, Scottish Lass, what's your actual name, by the way? If you go onto my profile on here, you'll just see it in my bio. There's a link there, just click on it, go on there. I will be uploading this video to it anyway. Not jealous at all. I wear the boots and jacket you gave me. Biker girl? Who's biker girls? I take it you two have met then. That's absolutely hilarious. Oh, you're about the Crocs and socks. Oh my God, you had to be there, honestly. I'm not ashamed to admit it. At the end of the day, you know, like I say, I'm not asked about what I look like. You know, if someone wants to pull me up and say I look a fucking mess, then fair enough. You know, your attitude's a fucking mess, I'll say to them. Yeah, but yeah, it was funny. I looked the he's looked the right clip. Cheers, gear. Yeah, but she used to see me though, you see, because sometimes during the week when I'd get home, I might not get home for the evening, but I'd get to the depot. So she'd drive down and we'd jump in the cab and we'd have a McDonald's or something. And she'd say to me, Jay, what the fucking hell are you wearing? I'd say, well, what's the matter with this? I'm just driving my truck. But then obviously, lo and behold, I wasn't. I was getting out my truck later on and going around the supermarket doing my shopping. It was about 20 years ago now, seems like yesterday. Yes, I've just had a look, yeah. I remember when it was, Fred. My brother lives in Spain, in Estepona, a beautiful place. All of Spain's beautiful. Fred, you take care, mate. Send me that message. World qualifying in Malaga a couple of years back in Oxford. Right. Fred, you send me that message and we'll arrange something sometime next week. And we'll get on, we'll do a live together and we'll get your followers on, get my followers on. I usually have about 40 to 50 people on to start with. Hopefully you've got the same or even more, be even better. We'll try and let's see if we can get the numbers up. And we'll have a good chinwag, mate, and we'll have some good back and forth between us. Absolute pleasure, mate. You have a great live and I will tune in a little bit. I'm going to be going off in a minute. Big brother lives in Spain, Estepona. Yeah, we've seen that one. My hubby hates to see me go shopping, especially when it's his wallet. Oh, Kat. Oh, I'm not going to say anything because she sat in the other room and yeah, I like my face as it is. Gemma. It's Gemma. Gemma. Ah, I know. Yes. Hi, Gemma. As long as you're comfortable. To be honest, yeah, you'd have probably blended in around it. Do you know what? I wasn't going to say that because you live there, but yeah, I found it a bit of a strange place, Wrexham. But saying that, the few times I would go out and I never really used to park up my truck and go for a beer, you know. I used to just put the TV on, you know, have my fridge, I'd make a bit of food or something. But the few times I did go for a beer in Wrexham, the people were just unbelievable. You'd go in a little bar, you'd sit in the corner, and you'd see somebody who was itching to speak to you. That you could see that they didn't like seeing people just sitting on their own in the corner. They'd try their hardest to get you in the conversation. And yeah, that's a lovely trait to have, that really. It is a really nice trait to have. Don't know if you've seen my name. It's Angela. Right, I probably did see it earlier on, Angela. Nice to meet you, Angela. Right, guys, listen. It's 9 o'clock. I'm going to watch a bit of football, and we've been chatting for a couple of hours. And again, I'm going to repeat it for anyone who has just joined or whatever, or you didn't hear me last time. There's a GoFundMe on my page. Go find it. I'm going to put a QR code on there so you can just scan the QR code. It is for a GoFundMe to help me raise funds to come back to the UK and go to various cities, live authentically with the homeless, document, interview, try and change some lives. The more I can raise, the more I can give away. You know, this money isn't going in my pocket. I have a business. My wife has a business. And we have enough money to pay our bills and live our life. You know, I want to raise money so I can go to the UK and try and change some lives. I'm passionate about it. Please go on there. Please find my GoFundMe. And please donate anything you can. Pass it on to your friends, your Facebook, your TikTok. Please just spread it around as much as you can. Go onto my YouTube. There's a link on here as well. Go onto my YouTube. Please subscribe. Please like all my videos. This video will be going on there as well. Get in the conversation. Let's get some chat, some conversation on there. If you like the video, make a comment. Let's all keep connected. Like I say, we're creating a community here. This is only the third live, and I'm seeing the same faces coming up over and over again. That's lovely that people are tuning in. So obviously we're doing something right. And sometimes just sitting and chatting and discussing people's needs is great. I mean, everyone met Amy tonight. A poor girl a couple of nights ago was ready to end it all. And after just a few hours of conversation with me, she's in a much better place. You heard her tonight. She's even said she's in a much better place, and that was thanks to me and thanks to other people that she's still here. She's made some friends. I think, Kat, you connected with her. Absolutely wonderful. And next time we're on, if Amy's on, any of you guys, please follow her. She'll follow you back. She's a lovely girl. She just needs help and she needs friends because she feels like she's alone in the world. And none of us should ever feel alone in the world. We should all have somebody that we can reach out and chat to. Remember what I say. We just need to say 4 words when you're struggling. I need some help. And just reach out. And, you know, if you reach out to the right people, you'll always get that help you want. Let me just see a few of these comments before I go. Don't know if you've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it, Angela. We are good people here. Yeah, you are. You all seem like really good people. Guys, I'm going to say again, I need to get you guys on. You need to get your fellas on, your husbands on. Just tell them to come and watch for 10, 15 minutes. You know, promise them the earth. You know, promise them a free drink. Promise them you'll let them go out to the pub tomorrow night with their friends on a night they don't normally go out. Whatever you got to promise them, you know. But try and get them on. Try and get them to just come and listen for 10 minutes and let them listen to me rattling on. A big guy like me, being honest and open about mental health, because not enough men talk about it. Not enough men ever have the, you know, they never have, I'm not saying strength, what's the word? They never ever talk about it. It's almost like it's not masculine to talk about, well, I'm masculine. I consider myself a masculine man. And I talk about it, and I'm not ashamed to talk about it, and talking about it has changed my life. Look at young Amy the other night, where she was. She talked about it, and she's still here, and it's changed her life. That girl may be in a hole again in a few days, a few months, whatever, but she now knows there's people out there for her. Nice to meet you. I've enjoyed your live. We'll be back. Thanks a lot, Angela. Have a lovely evening, Jane K. My brother works for the homeless. Queen Jenny, can you send me some kind of link so I can get in touch with him, because people like him will be invaluable for me when I come back to the UK. And which part of the world is that? Jay, Jason, good night to you and Kay. Take care. Same to you, Victoria. Thanks for the live, Jay. Enjoyed it. Have a great evening, you and Kay. Lovely chatting to you both. Just anybody, send me a message. Anybody who's got anything and they need, just send me a message, and I'll put that link in there for the GoFundMe. Please, if you can, donate. Share it far and wide. Tell your friends to share it. Tell their friends to share it. Everybody share. We need to raise these funds. I want to go back to the UK, and I want to make a massive difference. Guys, it's been absolutely fantastic. It's been a pleasure chatting to you all, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you for tuning in. It's been amazing, and again, we've talked about some amazing things, and you've all met Amy now, so keep in touch with the girl. She needs us. She needs all of us. I know she feels I'm like the way she feels. Yeah, and nobody has to feel alone. My cat's rattling around over there, going through one of his tunnels. We've got a little kitten. A few weeks ago, we rescued him. He's all white. We haven't really got a name for him yet. The wife calls him Babaloo. I call him Shitbag or whatever, or Boo Boo. We still haven't got a name for him. So if anyone's got any great ideas for names, send them in a message as well. Guys, it's been a pleasure, and I will see you all soon. Keep checking my TikTok. There's always little things on there about the homeless, about mental health. Keep liking, keep following, keep sharing. Go to YouTube, and please donate and share that GoFundMe. It's been a pleasure. Take care, everybody. Lots of love.